lived a lot of lives as an Avenger before I got this family. I made mistakes choosing between what the world wants you to be and who you are. We have to go back to where it all started.
Where did you think I was all this time?
We have unfinished business.
My girls are the toughest girls in the world.
I'm sorry. We had our orders and we played our rules.
It wasn't real.
It was real to me. To me, you were everything.
Raina.
One thing's for sure. I'm done running from my past.
What is going on, guys? What's up, panel?
What's up? What's up?
What up? What
Oh,
up?
What's up? Let's go.
I love that intro. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good stuff, man.
So which one?
Both.
Both. So the first one we're gonna cut justice out, but the second one is promotion because we're gonna be doing all-day coverage for Black Widow on July 9th at Showcase Cinemas.
Oh wow, that's gonna be fun, man.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys excited for the Black Widow?
I was hype about a year ago when I was expecting to see it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm happy that you guys are gonna, be doing that. But for me, I'll still watch it, but my expectations are a little low.
Yeah. I
Sure.
think that's for everybody.
I also been hearing some early non-spoiler reviews, and they're saying some things are faltering a bit in the movie. Like action is not the problem. And
Would you hear that, John Campia?
No, like a heavy spoiler show and like the
I've heard the same.
real rejects. Like action's good, but like kind of a little lackluster on the story, not as satisfying.
Right.
Because if you think about it, I don't know if Scarlett's Black Widow is going to come back after this movie, but this is
No, she's not. She's done. She literally. She just did an interview too, where she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna miss coming back every 2 years and see my Marvel family." So I was like, "Well, that's you just okay. Well, give that away before the movie comes out. That's
pretty
good
much
to know."
This is the final thing.
That just buries the hatchet right there.
Right? Yeah.
And, like everybody has to stop being in a franchise at some point. But
But before we get into anything, what are we going to be talking about today, guys?
Well, guys, as you all know, there's a great movie called Karen coming out, and today's topic is all about.
Oh no! No!
Remember
No.
Madeline made us
kidding,
watch
guys.
that?
Do not make me throw my headphones, John Campia style, please. Don't.
I thought that was a spoof. I thought that was.
I really
is that a
did.
spoof,
I
Tristan?
really-
Isn't that?
It looked like it looked like an SNL skit, to be honest.
I like.
Oh my
like,
god!
you got. I remember
but-
there was like the.
Matt's in the chat. Yeah, what's up, Matt? Go, Matt. Matt showed it to us. She's like, let's go.
But before we get into anything, I just want to remind you guys that to share this video on social media so your friends, family, and enemies can watch along with you. We invite toxicity. We invite it all.
Toxicity?
We invite it all. We love it. We love it.
We want it all. People from all walks of life.
All walks of life all fandoms. Subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here. Welcome. We do it for you. We do it for the culture. You can now hit join below if you're on a browser or an Android. For some reason, iPhone does not have the join button of all things. I don't understand why, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, guys. So the Flash movie. So some leaks came out.
Yeah, some stuff did come out a little. I think a snippet of a behind the scenes. What's up, DC Talk? What's up, Matt? What's up, Andrew? What's up, Anthony? What's up, everybody in the chat? We love you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, so there's believe it was like a snippet or a clip or something of some behind the scenes featurette thing that's going to be released. So Ezra kind of talking about that. Why he likes the Flash. The Flash is, has one singular power, but that one singular power, can do multiple things and include like time travel and all this crazy stuff, right? And he talks about the Batman, and then they show off a little bit of concept art. So yeah, I guess a leak. It wasn't like that crazy. Besides like some concept art of like Supergirl, the new suit, the new Flash suit. So. I guess a leak.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what are you guys thinking of? What are you guys thinking of the Flash so far? Like, so what are your expectations?
I mean, I'm being cautiously optimistic. Like, I'm not like the hype level is not even really there for me. I'm pretty dead in the middle in terms of like hype to complete disgust. I want to see the movie and I want to see it succeed, but with like everything that has been happening at WB, like I don't really have that much faith in it. And it's like when they do this story and they bring in people like Michael Keaton, which has been confirmed, we've seen him on set and stuff like that, that he's going to be playing his Batman from his Tim Burton universe.
Nostalgia.
I'm wondering. Did you hear something? I didn't hear anything. I'm just hoping it's not
hate in the background.
I'm just hoping it's not a big nostalgia bomb where it's literally he's in it for the sake of being in it. Like I really want him to be. I would be pretty surprised if I want him to be in the movie for a reason, because whatever inciting incident happens
is right. Yeah, but you think about it too. Like Michael Keaton, he did. He took his time. He took his time deciding even if he was going to do the movie or not, because like Kimmel tried getting it out of him a few months ago. I heard you're back as Batman. He's like, it's not, nothing's there yet. It's not confirmed. I haven't said yes, So I think that might be part of the reason is that, I don't think he would just do it just to come back for, nostalgia aspect. I think there's going to be, I'm sure they're going to do some cool stuff with him as Batman, being back and being an older Batman. Not only is he an older Batman, I would argue that Keaton is a much better actor now than he was when he played Batman years ago. And he was good then. I liked his Batman, but like him now, Keaton's a kid. He's a kid. He's an Oscar nominated actor now. I think he's gonna really, really bring some cool stuff to this role.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like, I think the reason Keaton, I think this reason why you say, I think it's mainly because of the writing back in the '89 film, because I feel like they didn't devote enough time to like exploring Bruce Wayne's psyche. It was always about like, oh, there's Jack Nicholson in the Joker. Look how cool Batman is. It was never like, so what is this Bruce Wayne character? What can Keaton do with it? It was mainly Keaton's like charisma that he brought to that character, but I think it was the writing that fell apart for it. I mean, I hope that he does. I hope he does well in this Flash movie. I mean, it's not like I'm super hyped for. I'm like, oh my god, Keaton's back. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I never had any attachment to Keaton. I never had, like, I know so many people have been saying, like, back in '89 I was however much old, and Keaton was my Batman, and that's like exactly how I envision Batman to be. And people are ride or die Keaton. I get that. I get that. Like, I don't think I'm really ride or die for anybody. Like, but I am avid fans of. I'm an avid fan of a lot of properties, but yeah, like I don't have that connection to him. So I
trash point.
Of course, Anthony. Of course, Anthony would say that.
Yeah, so like then again, the thing for me is just how are they going to incorporate it into the story? And I know we don't have a lot of story beats. It's been a lot of this fluff that we've seen like with DC Fandom, and now with this leak of like it looks like a behind the scenes thing where they show even more concept art, and it's like, well, one, are they planning to do another behind the scenes sneak peek just like Fandom? I'm like why? Like,
oh, sure.
I don't know where that leak is coming
so
from.
So what is this?
I don't think they have enough footage for a proper trailer or a teaser. So
what is this thing?
Well, hey, look, if Batman had enough to put a teaser together, I'm sure this has got enough.
What is this teaser you guys are talking about?
It's the one that
popped
up. It popped up on Twitter. It was like a leak. It was like a leaked featurette or something about the film.
It was a featurette. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a featurette.
It was showing like concept art and all that.
And
it's taken down now.
Yeah, it's already copyrighted claimed.
Yeah,
I mean, it had like animations and people were working on it. So if they're working on it, then I would assume that they're planning to release this in the foreseeable future, not like next year when this is gonna when the movie is set to be released and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure it's gonna be either released at Fandom or being prepared for.
Oh yeah, there is like, is there gonna be a Fandom 2.0?
Yeah, there's DC Fandoms happening this year.
Isn't it in October? Yeah, okay, yeah. It's October.
But that's a lot closer than we think. I know that sounds kind of far away.
Well, it's July tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, like I read a tweet today and it was like the Suicide Squad is 37 days away. I was like, oh my god, wait, it is?
Dude, Black Widow is 10 days away.
Yeah, like
finally.
Whoop-de-doo.
Now that one feels like that. I it's been so long that it's like
finally.
Jeez.
So I don't have like a lot to judge upon. I mean, screenshots or images from like the set looks pretty good. I like it. And
what do you guys think of this logo?
Looks
like it's cool.
I think it looks a little bit. So I like how they stayed true to the Snyder emblem.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more detail. So if you look at this Flash, the detail's different. Like it's the same emblem. There's a little bit of detail around the crest, but for the most part, the suit is mechanical, like in a sense. But this suit looks like it's going to be made of some sort of Wayne Tech
skin type fabric.
Yeah.
I like if around the logo, it's like that kind of see-through rubber material thing imaging, like kind of like on the bottom of some sneakers or whatever. I'm like,
Anthony,
I'm with it.
Send it. Send it.
He's like, I need to see this.
I'm with it. I just hope they don't. I hope they don't hand wave it and be like, "Yeah, this is a suit now." He somehow got a hold of, any
suit is a step up from that CW suit, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Oh my god. the CW Flash.
We don't speak of the CW. We don't speak of the CW suit.
We don't.
Awful.
Yeah, we don't.
And just a reminder to our FBI and NSA agents. Anything that we do here is under fair use laws. We do not seek to take away profits. We only seek to educate. We have to say that now or we get taken down.
Yeah.
I gotta please the FBI overlords.
Yeah. It's the timekeepers of our reality. Yeah, the FBI apparently.
What's up, Philip Barker? You make great game shows. That was him, right? Philip Barker.
I don't know. I don't know that Phil does that, and I know Phil pretty well. Yeah, no, he has his podcast, Superhero Stress.
No. maybe you're a little too young. The Price is Right.
I just realized.
Over my head. I don't.
Yeah, that was literally over my head.
The only other Barker I know is Travis.
I'm stupid. I'm sorry.
I get it now.
When do you think that we'll get the actual first teaser for The Flash?
With
fandom.
With footage? Probably fandom, yeah.
Fandom.
With fandom.
Look, DC has a history of and now I will say this, you made a really great point, and I forgot to finally someone cracks a Bob Barker joke. Wow, he's been waiting for one. I like it. But you made a good point earlier, Carlos, in that, I am pretty excited for The Flash, but DC does have a history in, like, they release, like, really great trailers, really great feature. I mean, I still argue that Suicide Squad trailer from Comic-Con is one of the all-time best trailers ever.
Which one?
Like, it's the very first trailer they released.
Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad?
No, the first one, Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay.
But that was before all the meddling.
Right. That was before, so arguably DC they do a really good job of getting me interested and getting me like, oh my God, this is going to be so freaking good. And then, so we'll see. Obviously the Batman had a teaser almost 2 years before its release. So I would bet money.
And then Jurassic World Dominion is getting a IMAX feature.
Yeah, it has its teaser
one year ahead of
release.
What's the movie?
Jurassic World?
It was Fast 9 in IMAX.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a feature in IMAX?
Yeah, there was an IMAX teaser.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Fast 9. I did get back from watching A Quiet Place 2, though. I watched that yesterday.
How was that?
Nice.
I liked it. It was a good follow-up. It was actually a really short movie because it was only like an hour and 30 minutes. No spoilers, of course. But of course, they're like, it's in suspenseful horror type movies. There's always things, some contrivances and some kind of like things that you have that are used to set up the plot. It's characters making kind of out of character decisions or like little dumb decision and you're just like, why would you do that? But apart from that, it's a solid movie. Not as captivating as the first one.
Yeah.
But
I've been hearing that a lot.
But it's decent, and they kind of build on like a little bit of the lore because they have like that scene which is like the first day that the aliens came by.
Right. Yeah. That opening scene.
Like all in all, I think it was pretty good, and I just felt like I wanted more because things were just ramping up, and then the climax happened, and then a final kind of triumphant scene, and then boom, credits, and it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like after the triumph, where's the resolution? You know what I mean? Where's the kind of the inciting incident for the next film or something like that? You know what I mean? Because like with the first one, it was like the kind of climax was like John Krasinski's character sacrificing himself.
You're right.
And then the kind of resolution was finding that the aliens have a weakness. And then Lash out of the scene, you pump your shotgun.
Yeah, she's like ready to go. I'm like, let's get
more. And I was like, now I kind of get that. That's a satisfying ending. But this time it's just, it's like stopping right when Lee dies. So yeah.
So Anthony did send it to me, and
take a peek. Can you take a peek? We of course can't show it here.
I'll send it to you each privately.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen it a couple times already.
I just got a quick glimpse of it. I wish I seen it.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
Is it that?
I'm the only one.
Apparently so, man.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Right. Yep. Like that's
No. So my question is, do you guys think that the Flash is going to erase the Snyderverse?
Oh God.
I mean,
listen. This is a topic that we need to talk about.
I mean, we just don't know enough about the story. We know they're going into the
we don't know
because Sasha Calle's Supergirl and Michael Keaton's Batman are from a universe different than the established universe before the Snyderverse. If they are going with Justice League as canon to everything that DC does from here on out, and the Snyder Cut was literally just something for us and something for HBO Max,
that's okay.
Then it's fine, I guess. It's just like, does it? It doesn't. Well, I mean, the Snyderverse is there. We could see it. Is it a continuation? I don't know. I really don't know, and I think it's too early to tell. But if it wasn't, I wouldn't say that I'm entirely.
Well, okay. What I'm saying is, regardless whether it gets continued on HBO Max, do you think that this is going to erase it? Therefore, there'll be no Snyder Cut ever. Like, there'll be no Justice League 2. There'll be no Justice League 3. There'll be nothing.
I think
I don't think this movie can do that.
I think if they're audacious enough to end Ben Affleck's Batman, because we know he's going to be in the movie. The treatment of his character is what's going to say it all. I mean, and Cyborg, like, I don't know what they're going to do with Cyborg. I really wish Ray Fisher's Cyborg was in there, because he's the one that kind of like has the knowledge. He
helps.
He's the knowledge. He's the catalyst. He's the one that buries the power. He's the machine. You know what I mean? He's the one that guides it. But
yeah,
so I don't know how they're gonna hand wave Cyborg out of the movie, but it's just the treatment of Ben Affleck's Batman. It's just what they're gonna do. And I know, like, if you listen to Grace, hey, we're gonna have Keaton, Nick Fury, and Ben Affleck's Batman is gonna be written out. I don't know what's gonna, or sidelined.
Right.
I don't know. We just have to wait until we start seeing like maybe some set photos of him.
But it was weird.
Or that scared me. Or
that just scared me a little. Jolted out of my seat.
Yeah, she's terrible. She's
eyes
terrible.
pierced into my soul.
I mean, I like her.
You like her?
She's all right. I
Carlos,
mean,
you're gonna get booted, man.
She has some gimmicks though. She has some like, well.
Oh God.
She sounds like the gingerbread man from Shrek.
Yeah, her voice is. But I will say, yeah, lately. She's been on point. She gets her stuff right. I don't watch her because I like her. I feel like I watch her because I just know her information. At this point, I know her information is right, and I better know it too.
I mean, there was some bad takes, like with like Wonder Woman 84 being.
Oh, hi.
What's going on, man?
Oh, I just thought I'd drop in and say hi.
Of course.
You guys were all talking about the Flash and whatnot.
Let me update the background.
I'm cut in half.
There we go.
There you go.
Ah! I'm in jail. I'm in jail.
Oh boy.
At 2 bars.
There we go.
The bars.
How we doing, Philip?
I can't complain. How are you doing, man?
So what's your take on the Flash? And you know what? I'd also like to branch this conversation into the Batman, because there could be a scenario where this movie kind of rewrites reality and brings other character. So, do you guys remember Crisis on Infinite Earths? As trashy as it was.
Yeah.
What happened at the end?
Then they made Earth Prime. They made Earth.
Not
They made
necessarily.
Earth.
They rewrote all of the multiverse in CW, basically, and that they made a new Earth Prime. But yeah, you're right.
Right. So
I don't even consider that.
We had one. We didn't have a multiverse anymore. We had one Earth Prime. Do you think that the Flash could do this, where everything takes place in one world?
I literally hate that because they're just writing themselves into a corner. That's the same thing with Loki. You write yourself into a corner. Even though now we're discovering it's all a big lie with Loki. It literally just, you ham fist everything into one thing. Because, like, you know, there are bound to be iterations of characters, and that just makes for more interesting storytelling. Like, even though you might say, oh, that eliminates stakes because there's an infinite number of universes where those characters haven't gone through this catastrophe, so why do I even care? Like, you know, still, I think it really does kind of just like kind of drop you onto a train track that you can never leave if they try to do an amalgamation universe of whatever.
I think personally, you just kind of have to take what Muschietti has been saying or has said in the past. I mean, he said everything you've seen has existed and will exist, and everything you see forward will continue to exist. And it's like, okay, well, I would certainly hope that includes that everything we've seen is all going to be a little more connected and a lot less streamlined. And I just really hope that that's the intent. I mean, though I talked about it with Aaron Bailey a little bit on my show that I just dropped. You know, that movie specifically, it's a pain in the ass to talk about because not so much like because, oh damn, it's a pain in the ass because it sucks that Ray Fisher's not a part of it, and it sucks that WB is strong arming Andy and Muschietti just to, like, you know, we understand you're making our movie, but at the same time, like, you can't use this character, you can't do that, and it's just like, well, shit, you guys are the filmmaker driven studio, act like it.
Yeah.
Well, as far as what characters are they saying that he can't use? Like
Cyborg. Yeah.
It's not saying they can't use him. It's just Ray Fisher he won't work there because of Hamada. It's not saying it has nothing to.
No. They're saying that they won't use him because of it.
Right.
Okay.
So okay, you're right. You are right.
Right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you are right, but they won't use him because of the investigation and all that stuff. So
but I would rather that instead of, like, what, Andy goes and recast Cyborg.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do like a roadie thing.
I don't think that's at all what they intend to do. I think at best, you know, think about the movie itself. You know, it's been through production hell for the last 10 years too. It's had 4 or 5 different directors attached to it. Now, again, it's a really tough situation when you have an actor who had been part of the project for such a large amount of time, but will not be a part of the project because of people who are in charge. And I totally respect that. But at the same time, like, again, these people are making a movie, and these people in charge, they have their agendas, and it just sucks. But you know, props to Ray Fisher for standing his ground. I stand with Ray Fisher 100%. But at the same time, like, I'm curious to see what this movie will turn out and the conversations that will happen after the fact. Because again, like, what will happen after this movie? Like, we've got Michael Keaton coming back as Batman for the 3rd time. Like, he didn't come back for Batman Forever, but he's going to come back for this. That's awesome to some extent.
Do you guys think that now I hate to say this, but say that there is no future for Ben Affleck's Batman, and do you think that they do a Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton?
I mean,
or a Batgirl Beyond?
They better not do Batgirl.
I hope they don't do that.
Oh yeah, I really hope they don't.
I think the idea
Batman Beyond, that's fine. Not Batgirl. I don't know.
I think Batman Beyond has been something they want to do, but it's just a matter of, like, how they're gonna do it. And I think, like, Michael Keaton coming back is obviously, like, a really easy way for them to do it, and
it's a good grab. It's a good grab for the audience too.
Right, exactly. And he's like the right age as Bruce Wayne was in that show. So
yeah,
it's just that
perfect look too.
It's Michael Keaton got the pull though. Like they were waiting on him for the Flash. Like Michael Keaton had the say and like the power in that.
And
so he has that seniority in Hollywood. So
I think that, but that says a lot too about the movie.
Yeah.
Like if the movie were bad, I don't think Keaton would be a part of it. I don't think Ben Affleck would want to come back to.
Ben most certainly would not be a part of it.
Yeah, to properly, send off his Batman if that's what they're gonna do or whatever. So I find it hard to believe that it's like gonna completely erase the Snyderverse. Like I don't even think that's like a possible thing. Like
I find it hard to believe because like it's Zack's Flash. It's Ezra Miller as the Flash. Like he's the main character. Like I would hope he's the main character of the movie, and I still hope he's the main character of the movie.
Surprise!
Because like based on the concept art, it's like it's a DC character film. It's it's called the Flash, but it's Flashpoint, not
right.
Flashpoint.
Basically, yeah.
I think Andy also said that Andy Muschietti was saying that Ben Affleck was the Batman the Flash knew. You know what I mean? So that was his starting point, and then because he's gonna have he's gonna have these multiverse shenanigans. He's gonna see other iterations of characters. So so I don't know, but I don't know how well it's gonna tie into the Snyderverse. I don't know. I'm the interconnected universes guy, and I just really hope they. No expectations. I have no expectations.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting.
I hope for the best for Andy, because he's doing a lot of shit right now, and he's going through a lot, especially with the studio heads.
Yeah, and especially with a fandom too. That because I'm sorry, you do have like part of a fandom that is just like already trashing this movie and saying things about it that they don't know crap. They haven't seen it. They haven't read a script. They don't know nothing. They're just giving this guy hell for no good reason.
They're ready to boycott a movie.
Whoever's saying they're boycotting, they're full of shit. I'm sorry.
They're full of shit. Yeah.
They really are.
Look, there's a difference between like outright boycotting a film and then not watching a film because you have, respect. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever, yeah.
Like there's a huge difference between the two. Like I know a lot of people who are in the fandom who are absolutely not interested in seeing the Flash. That is totally fine.
Totally
There's
fine.
No problem
That's
with that
totally
at all.
It's not a crime. It's not a crime. You could choose not to watch the movie.
It's the people that are out there that are going like, this guy is trying to destroy my, the movies that I love, and it's like, who said that? Where are you getting that information from?
Or crumpling pamphlets, those kind of people.
Pamphlets. I like that. I like that. But yeah,
I just hope that. And I think this would be like kind of like the nail in the coffin if they're trying to work with what they have with like the Snyderverse. And I just want them to be consistent. Like I literally want, I want something tangible. I want something to stick with. I don't want I don't want the multiverse to be an excuse to have standalone
Snyderverse.
No, it's not just the Snyderverse. It's like would you consider anything that's outside of Zack's vision to be in the Snyderverse if it had the same characters?
To an extent,
I kind of get iffy with like Aquaman and stuff because I'm like, I look at King Atlan's trident and I'm like, that's not the same trident in Zack Snyder's Justice League in the Aquaman movie, and the armor and like Mira, her design and stuff like that. Like so,
the British accent, all that.
Yeah, I get a little iffy. I'm like, is that in the Snyderverse? Is it not?
Well, I mean, James Wan did show him Aquaman, and Zack Snyder was like, boom.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's true.
Yeah. Like all I know is that I just want them to remain consistent, build on what you have, and just continue with the characters that we love. You know what I mean? Because like I don't want to see Batman's origin or year 1 or year 2 Batman as in Robert Pattinson's the Batman. I want to. I want to.
It looks
cool.
with
you, Caleb. I really want to see that suit.
It does.
We've seen Supergirls. Why haven't we seen the Flash in the Flash movie suit? Like, come on.
Right? Yeah, I know they're keeping that. But as far as the concept art, it looks sick. I really like it.
So far, it's just been a Batman with Flash featuring film so far.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And look, Batman's my favorite fucking character in the culminant in like everything of pop culture. I love Batman to death.
Yes.
But this is a Flash movie.
Yeah.
Let it be about the Flash.
Yeah. It's just like No Way Home, featuring Tom Holland as a special guest star in a cameo.
I like that kid as Spider-Man. So I'm cool with him.
Yeah, he's growing on me very slowly, but he's growing on me.
I just hope they remain consistent. Keep on building, keep on evolving.
Yeah, do you guys think Ben Affleck is gonna suit up in this movie? Like, actually,
I would hope so.
I hope. I pray to whatever higher power to just put him in that bat suit again, please.
It is sounding more and more like his role is gonna be like kind of a smaller, maybe like glorified cameo thing. And if that's the case, it kind of be like, at what point do you find him in the suit, or if he's just kind of sounds like it's just going to be him as Bruce Wayne. I think that to me is more upsetting a little bit than like
not having
it's like I kind of want to see him in the suit, of course,
Maybe he'll just be in the beginning of the film.
I mean,
and
they
then
keep
there he goes, and then it'll be Keaton throughout the rest.
What if it's the letter?
Oh, like how they do in Flashpoint from his father.
Yeah, what if it's the letter?
Well, then where's Jeffrey Dean Morgan then? Where's Thomas?
I understand, because we know that they're going to change things, but what if it's... it wouldn't make sense.
No expectations.
It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like this is such a hard movie to like talk about right now, because even though we have like little leaks and things we kind of know, we still don't know anything, like.
Yeah.
Right.
All I'm wondering is if all those leak pictures, like, because it looks like they're all on the same set, like on the same day, with Sasha Calle.
It does.
In front of that courthouse. Yeah.
In front of that courthouse with Keaton with the baggy suit. I'm like, what can they be doing in front of a courthouse having multiverse? People from
the only theory that I had from that set picture of like them in that same kind of area was I was thinking like, are realities crossing? Is like Barry walking out of like that courthouse and he's seeing all these different like people from different Earths crossing into the same reality or something? I don't know. That's like an idea that I have.
Yeah,
possibly.
I'm just wondering how why are they all there at the same time?
Question.
Yeah, that's the theory.
So, do you think that this movie takes place in our DCEU or in the other Batman '89 universe?
Well, I'm pretty solid in thinking that it's going to start in our DCEU, and they're kind of gonna hand wave. If it's after Justice League, or if it's after Zack Snyder Justice League, whatever it is, the Justice League is formed. They have the Hall of Justice as their operating grounds. So, the Flash is going to be chilling and, kind of like experimenting and going to go into the multiverse at some point in the movie. Like, they're probably going to hand wave, Superman is off doing something. Wonder Woman is off doing something.
Right.
Here's Ben Affleck, though.
I hate when they do that.
So
yeah, it's just like a throwaway line. Oh yeah, they're here.
It's like, we have this world-ending threat, but hey, Superman's not around.
So it might be in the
He's
DCEU.
off looking for the remnants of Krypton.
It might be in the DCEU, but it's not going to be in the DCEU. Yeah. So I don't know. It's like where was the Avengers when in Captain America: The Winter Soldier when Hydra was literally going to murder millions of people?
Understood. And that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is you and I know we need these solo movies, but like the bigger the solo movies, because you can't just have these small solo movies anymore. They need to be spectacles in themselves. Like, you can't have a Superman film with Brainiac and not have the League in it.
That's what I was thinking. When everybody says like the next Man of Steel solo movie, if it were to happen, to have Brainiac, I think Brainiac is too big of a villain because
Brainiac is a solo Superman villain though.
I wouldn't mind.
He
can be either
villain, but he
can be either or.
Villain.
In my opinion, he can be either or.
Superman villain first too, buddy.
But he's big enough to be a Justice League villain too.
He is. I'm not saying that. But I think that would be. He's one of those villains that I'd love to see him in a
That's
solo
like saying
Superman
the
film.
last-
Superman
I would
lose,
too.
and then Justice League takes him, and Justice League have to take him on. You know?
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. I could see that, but I just don't want it's like to be.
But there's that personal connection between Brainiac and Superman.
Yeah,
that
I just don't want to be the looming threat that's in the movie is that Brainiac's gonna digitize the entire world. And then
hey, what's up, Paul?
What's up?
Yeah, and then Superman narrowly defeats him. And where was Wonder Woman? Oh, she was in Europe. Where was Batman? He was chilling in the Batcave. Where was Flash?
Smaller and personal. Like, I feel like if Brainiac were to be used, the best thing you could do is have him be like in the giant skull spaceship and have him collect cities like he used to.
Yeah.
And his next pick is he's going to destroy Earth and then take Metropolis for his taking. Metropolis is personal to Superman and Black Zero and all that shit.
But guess what? What is across the bay from Metropolis?
Gotham
City. Yeah.
What is Batman going to do against Brainiac?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Bingo.
What is he going to do?
But there's an interesting thing too, right? With the smarts of Brainiac and Batman.
He can watch from the Batcave. That's what he's going to do. Watch from the Batcave.
Right.
No, he's not.
He's going to take the Bat boat across Gotham Harbor, get some binoculars, and just watch everything unfold.
Right.
Okay, maybe.
Batman saw Doomsday and got right into action.
No, he didn't. Batman didn't.
Did he
really
do much? I mean, he shot a kryptonite. He shot a kryptonite.
I mean, guys, let's be honest.
But...
all he did was say there and go, "Oh shit!" before he was about to die. Like,
and then he shot the kryptonite grenade. But,
what about Justice League?
Okay, that's the thing. Justice League, he was a hell of a lot more prepared because he knew what he was going up against to an extent.
Yeah,
right.
But he never went directly at Steppenwolf because he knew he would die like instantly.
Of course.
Yeah. You see an Invincible, like when a Batman-like figure tries to go against.
Man, that show was so mid. I'm not a fan.
That's what happens.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You didn't like that
not
show?
Too much.
Oh.
What?
I love that show.
It's cool, but I mean, it's like
that was a masterpiece
it's just
to me.
nothing super special.
The Guardians of the Globe could have beat Omni-Man. They could have. They were just so discorded.
I like that meme. I think
that's
funny.
funny. That's funny because
that's a pretty funny
in the show, the Guardians of the Globe give him a struggle. If you read the comic, he kills every single one of them in a couple of seconds. That whole thing, he gets put in the hospital thing doesn't happen. He just fucking mows through them. Sorry,
but no. Wasn't there like an alternate reality where like they had the foreknowledge that he was coming, and then they had the kind of they were in the right mindset, and then Green Ghost like phases through him.
Got a bunch of stuff like that, like the realities, and there's like 15 different versions of Invincibles. There's like a whole Invincible war where it's just a bunch of versions of Invincible fighting each other and stuff. That comic gets absolutely bonkers. Yeah.
Somebody give him a penny every time he says Invincible.
Yeah. That comic it's always very good, but it gets kind of.
I really like the show though, except Amber. That's it.
Yeah. Oh my god,
she was pretty annoying. Yeah,
she was terrible.
Do you guys think a live action Invincible is gonna do as well?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't even know how
good. It'll do great. It'll do fine.
I don't even know how they're gonna do it.
I think
you get John Hamm for Omni-Man. That's it. Get John Hamm for Omni-Man.
Okay, I kind of like that. I mean, J.K. Simmons could work too, but I like John.
I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan for
before Ben Affleck was cast. I actually thought John Hamm would be the perfect Batman opposite Henry Cavill, so I like that.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Omni-Man would be pretty freaking crazy.
That actually sounds really cool.
Oh my god!
I actually thought
I like that.
I actually thought.
Here we go.
Speaking of Jupiter's Legacy.
Yep.
I thought that Josh Duhamel could have played a good Omni-Man.
He's Harvey Dent.
He looks the part.
I don't think his acting chops are there.
Yeah.
Or Henry Cavill as Omni-Man. Just got to grow the stash back.
Right.
I'll do you one better. What about Timothy Olyphant?
Yeah,
Timothy. That's actually not bad.
I would say that Olyphant isn't
because he looks like Josh Duhamel.
Right.
He isn't like big enough,
but he's got the act for better acting. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
What?
What if it's
Batman? Oh my gosh.
What against Brainiac? Yeah, he gets
that would have ruined.
Yeah,
I've talked about this the whole time. If you brought Bale's Batman into the DCEU, it would completely
It's trash.
It would tarnish the trilogy that was set.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It would definitely.
It would have just been a really bad decision. It would have been worse than, you know, anything else, honestly. I mean, what they did was by and far leagues and bounds better than any prior attempt to put Batman and Superman on screen, in my opinion.
Yeah. Did it perfectly.
Bale would get absolutely demolished.
I can't see Bale doing the tell me, do you bleed?
I mean, he got
you will.
Well, yeah, and just I mean, and just
instead of getting a kryptonite spear, he lines it on his elbows and starts doing that.
Yeah, that's what he's
probably,
right.
Yeah.
And just that universe is so established in, you know, Chris Nolan's reality. Like if I mean, let's be honest. That's not Gotham in those movies. It's New York or Manhattan or wherever.
It's Chicago.
Like,
it's
Chicago,
yeah.
Pittsburgh.
wherever. But where it's not got, you know. So yeah, it would take people completely out of it. And not only that, it would be he'd be like, people fly here. What's going on? He'd be like, what's going on? You know, like
there's an Amazon.
That's
there's
another,
a speedster.
That's another thing is Gotham. And I like what Matt Reeves said. Gotham needs to be a character in the movie. Gotham needs to be a character, and I think what Nolan was missing was Gotham was not a character.
It was
Gotham was
the only time Gotham felt like a character in those films was in Begins. It's the only time it felt a little more.
I feel like it's more in The Dark Knight.
I think generally speaking,
No,
I
don't feel it in
disagree
Dark
with
Knight.
I have a difference of opinion with you guys on the Dark Knight trilogy, but I do agree that Gotham is kind of stale in those movies, with the exception of Begins.
I love the Dark Knight trilogy. I'm with Paul.
In Dark Knight, there was like fighting for the soul of Gotham, like with the two fairies that were gonna blow up, you know, and then they kind of had the prisoners had one and the civilians in the other, and that was kind of the spirit of Gotham right there, kind of the character.
I'm also thinking
because it's Gotham City in a nutshell.
Of Gotham.
I'm also thinking aesthetically though.
Yeah, I was thinking more aesthetically. I think they do a really good job of it, especially in the Narrows and Begins.
Yeah.
But then they kind of don't do anything else with it in the rest of it. And for me, that's not to the detriment of the films. I still enjoy them very much. But I could see how that could not, like, especially if you grew up loving the Burton ones, I could see how you go,
I could see. Yeah, that's true.
I want Gotham to feel a little more like lived in. Like I felt like in Nolan's they were very clean. Like I just like especially in like Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises it doesn't feel like a gritty city for me.
No, it doesn't.
No, you know what? I get that. I get that. Like having the different like sections of the city with their own kind of personality and stuff like that, because that was always a staple. You know, amusement mile and the Narrows and
even
like
the teaser
Founders.
Right, and even the teaser for like the Batman trailer has me more excited and more interested in like that Gotham is the look
like
of that
Gotham looks like Gotham to me. Like
exactly. Oh,
I like it.
Affleck meet face to face. That would be amazing.
Collide.
That'd be pretty wild if Keaton and Affleck actually meet.
That would be pretty wild.
I
don't know how again, it goes down to how much Affleck is going to have in screen time. Is he going to be going to the multiverse? Is he going to be doing the things? I don't know.
Well, I mean, they did let him write part of his
story.
So,
see it?
Why do I keep getting booted from my own stream?
Don't know, man.
So
it's WB. They know you have to leave.
So that's the thing that I found interesting. They let Ben write part of his script. So why would he write part of his script if it was only going to kill him?
Yeah, I agree. That or I mean maybe he's cool with being killed off. I don't know. Or maybe he just wanted to expand on some things because look, we did like even though we got 4-hour Justice League and Batman versus Superman, it still feels like we got very little of his Batman, And so I think the way I kind of understood it is like he was being brought back and getting to rewrite the role to kind of make it like a proper, good closure send off type thing. At least that's kind of how I took it. So I was like, yeah.
I think we can only hope for now because we have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, but we don't really know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for now on, this is speculation central.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Do you
Yeah.
think that the I mean, I don't think they will, but the Amazonian and Atlantean war.
I don't know.
I don't think that's going to be addressed at all.
As much as I'd love for that to happen, I don't see it happening.
Isn't the Amazon series, isn't that still in development hell as well?
Yeah, I don't even think that's going to happen anymore.
The Trench, isn't that basically canceled?
Yeah,
Trench isn't happening. Yeah,
Trench and New Gods were canned. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of things are in either development hell or canned. So I don't know.
That's another problem I have with DC is like with Marvel. Say what you want about Marvel, at least we know like kind of a clear cut, like
you know what to expect.
Where we're going
to an extent.
There was only two hiccups with Marvel as far as I remember. It was Civil War, before it was Civil War, it was actually the Serpent Society.
Yeah.
And then there was the Inhumans, which was supposed to be a movie, but then it became a TV show. And I think I don't know if there's any other hiccups, but yeah, Marvel is pretty consistent.
I do know that the Inhumans thing was, I know we're kind of getting off on a little bit of a tangent, but the Inhumans things was, there was a producer who was working with Feige who really, really, really wanted that. He was like the head of I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He really wanted to produce the Inhumans movies. Nah, I keep wanting to say Bob Iger, but that's not the name. That's not it.
Perlmutter?
That might be it.
Oh, I think it was.
Perlmutter was the head of Marvel Entertainment.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And he was like, he wanted the Inhumans movie, and then Kevin Feige got his way, but Perlmutter was still able to like get it on the TV. And I mean, you saw how that happened. But anyway, generally speaking, what we see is what we get from Marvel.
Yeah, I don't think anything else was pretty much like done with. They were all seen through completion.
I just think that, like I said, with Marvel, there's a clear cut, like, and Feige will even come out and say, "Hey, this is where we're headed. This is what we're doing. This is, the slate." With DC, it's just like, "Oh, we got this. We got this. We got this."
With DC, we get a slate that never comes out.
We have no idea where we're going.
Unkept promises, pretty much.
We have no idea where we're going. Like, what the buildup is. These solo movies are supposed to build to team up movies, right?
Or some kind of crossover, period.
Essentially. And
I mean that goes down to my thing about interconnectivity. It's like even when we say we kind of still yearn for it. I mean, at least I do. I really, really want it. And it's just been shown you can't really have interconnectivity in that kind of, thing, that kind of slate where they have a timeline of events if you don't have a Kevin Feige like figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like they wanted it to be Nolan, and then it wasn't Nolan. They wanted it to be Snyder, and then they didn't like it. And then I don't even know what they're doing now. But right now they're kind of just winging it. I really think they should have a continuity committee, and I would throw my hat in that ring. I would love to be on that continuity committee. I will analyze every single movie, and I'll make sure there's no plot holes. All right.
I don't know about that because Kevin Feige and Alonso, I don't know how often they take too much into consideration of the committee that they have with like Brian Michael Bendis and Malieve and all them. But I don't know.
I mean, something of that sort, I think is kind of necessary to have to make this whole universe business work. Yeah,
there's no denying that. I mean, DC clearly, Warner Brothers Pictures, obviously, they really have no direction. It's kind of ironic, Ann Sarnoff talked about not having their aura chart on full blown show, and it's like, well, your shit is shining pretty high right now. So, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Now this is a good one. The Discovery. It says y'all think Discovery has much. I mean, here's the thing. As far as I understand, I don't know what you guys.
Discovery can't say or do.
They don't
anything.
have any say.
Yeah, they can't do anything for the next year.
Yeah, this movie's been in production. It's been being scripted and pre-production for months before the Discovery announcement even came about. And so and these things, like you said, they take a year. Nothing's gonna happen. I mean, and as far as we know, all of these guys, Hamada's contract, Ant's contract, all of them, they're still on until the end of 2022.
Right.
And I don't really see that changing unless they just straight up fire them. Like,
what is the time frame for the Snyder Cut to get greenlit, or the Snyderverse?
I say roughly.
We've talked about this several times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess after 2022.
Yeah, I'd say like two and a half year, 2.5 year time, maybe.
I'd say 3 years.
Our heroes are getting old. I think we're beyond that point. You know what I mean? It's like he's get kicked again. In the time that the Marvel has pumped out 20 movies in 10 years. In 2 years, DC already had its 10-year cycle. And what did we get from that? It's like Henry Cavill has only been in 3.5 movies, or basically, or three movies, two iterations of one movie, but
I don't count theatrical cut, so
we don't cut theatrical. Yeah,
three movies. It's been too long. It's been way too long. Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League was filmed back in 2016. I think they just moved on.
I feel like the one thing that stuck out to me the most was Zaslav's comment about bringing talent back to Warner Brothers. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then who you should probably get rid of if that is what your intention is. So,
he did stress like the main characters. He said our most recognizable
Superman. Wonder Woman, Sex in the City. Oh, that's great, dude. That shit still cracks me up to this day, man. I love that.
The girls from Sex in the City.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I hear merger. I hear Discovery Warner merger. So Discovery is going to be the new head. They are gonna take that kind of Warner Media position
from
that Warner Media was in before, and AT&T is not going to be a part of it anyway because AT&T sold it to them, right?
From what I understand, Zaslav is like taking over the position that Jason Kylar currently encompasses.
And then there's going to be
that is my understanding.
Then there's going to be no one over Zaslav. There's not going to be AT&T.
Yeah, exactly. Be the top tier head.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think it's way too long. I think that ship has sailed. I really do. I think it literally we should just keep it the way it is. We already have. I don't like calling it a trilogy because we know it's supposed to be a 5-part saga, but with related spin-offs. But I think that has sailed, and I think we should just make a new universe, make a new Prime universe that we follow. That we follow and evolve with. Like it'll be the DC version of the MCU.
They would have already been ready to reboot this universe this time, probably this year, hadn't they just been.
They stuck on course.
What? Yeah, exactly.
No. Justice League 3 would have came out last summer.
Yep.
So we could have been done with this by now, and you could have had a whole new universe going. So
and all them haters who were just so stuck in the comic books would have been finally happy, but no, here we are.
Yep. All of us are unhappy.
Well, right.
You know what I mean? Those giant sticklers that just make it not fun for everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I do think, I mean, also, a big part of it is Snyder has all of these other projects that he wants to do, and I'm sure he has said, right, he'll come back if they ask him, but I mean, I don't know if that necessarily is going to be the same answer in 5 years, or in 4 years, especially if he's in the middle of doing some other big project.
Right.
So, I mean, at this point, do you guys think that it's dead completely, or do you guys personally think that there's still, because I know that's like the big split in the Snyder community, right? Is give up or keep going at this point.
I'm gonna pull a Rambo quote. Nothing is over. Nothing. Okay. It's only been 3 months. It's been 3 months since Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, and people are already giving up. I think you should hold out a little more. Have a little more faith. That's just me.
I'll go last. So whoever wants to chime in next, by all means.
I mean, I don't. Does Snyder even want to do more things? I mean, he has a.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he said that he's wanted to, but
he straight up said that if they
Like-
ask him, he'll come back.
And
Army of the Dead
Yeah.
stuff. So
And
he's already
it's-
worked out a plan for Army of the Dead, and also he's working on Horse Latitude. So
Yeah,
if he were to come back to DC, he'd have to shuffle his schedule around. And that's if he were to
Yeah.
come back like immediately.
and he did. I know he said that the previous storyboards are out of date, and there are new storyboards.
he has new whiteboards that he's like the definitive of what 2 and 3 will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has a plan. I don't know. I think he's working on all the Army of the Dead spinoffs and with Fountainhead and the other things. So.
He's put Fountainhead on the back burner for now. He's going to focus on that Horse Latitudes film
Horse Latitude.
that he's going to do.
I haven't heard of that one.
That's
It's like a
gonna
war
be-
photography pick. I think that's the war photography.
Yeah. He's looking
Yeah, he's
for.
been wanting, that's like a passion project of his. He's been trying to do.
He's
for
talking
years.
with Billy Crudup to be in that film and another actor whose name escapes me.
I'm excited for that because that'll be like his first film that's like not. It's going to be a drama, like a full scope drama.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting.
I'm just God. I'm sorry, fandom. I don't know if I want to see more of the Snyderverse. I mean, I'll be happy to see it, but if DC's behind it, but if DC wants to make another universe, I'm with that too. I just want them to do it right. God, that's all.
Right, I just want these characters treated correctly. At
Just
this
do
point.
it. Just do it already.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Paul. What do you think? I know Paul doesn't like the Snyderverse.
I don't think. I think most of them are not good movies, but I'm not going to argue with anybody about that. But I am not opposed to the Snyderverse continuing. I don't know if I care very much, but I think it depends upon what happens with these next couple movies. How the Flash is received. I think entirely upon how the Flash is received, that will end Aquaman, whatever it's being called. I think those two movies and maybe even Shazam will have a lot to do with how this continues and whether they bring Snyder back in, even just as a producer, or maybe even, I don't know how many scripts or how many screenwriting credits he has, but something maybe as a storyboarder, whatever. Could he get back involved in this? I would not be shocked if he got back involved, especially if there's new people running it. And I'm not as I don't know as much about the people who are running Warner Brothers as you guys do, but it does seem like there's new people, and with new people comes different decision making. But DC and Warner's and that entire area has proved, from a filmmaking standpoint, they are nothing if not reactionary, and that started with Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman, where people watch Man of Steel. I actually like Man of Steel. It's the only Snyderverse movie that I like. And I like it a lot, actually. But people, like, one of the complaints about that movie was Superman destroyed too much stuff. And this is just a small example. But in Batman versus Superman, how many lines do we get about, oh, the square is empty. Oh, everyone's home from work. Oh, you don't have to worry about if they're not going to no one's in this area where they're fighting. And they do like throw shit like that into the script to be like, hey, okay, just keep like.
The port is abandoned.
Yeah.
And there's a weapon here that could kill it.
And then the biggest example is people wanted, a lot of people wanted it to be more lighthearted. I never wanted to be more lighthearted. I don't care. I just wanted it to be good, in my opinion. And it seldom was, but they took it, in my opinion, and they took it to an extreme, trying to do something different, completely different, with a movie that was filmed in a completely different way. And they just didn't mesh, and they tried to make a completely different movie out of what they had, and that's what the Zack Snyder Whedon's Justice League was. And that's just another example of them being reactionary to people complaining about stuff. And if like, I don't know, what's an example of people not being reactionary? What is
Age of Ultron?
Well, no. I even outside of Marvel, like the King Kong Godzilla universe, King of Monsters was pretty poorly received, but they were
it
just
only
like
made like 300 million. The box office.
Yeah, they were just like whatever, we're gonna stay the course and keep doing what we're doing, and people loved King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
They loved it. They didn't say, "Oh, we kind of laid a little bit of an egg with this one." I actually enjoy the King of Monsters movie, but just to watch the monsters slap each other around, I don't think it's a great movie otherwise.
Yeah, I agree.
But they were like, "We're just gonna stay the course and make what we planned on making, not let other people who are not in here do it." And it's like it probably would have been more cohesive and less ridiculous if they just did what they were gonna do, not worrying about what other people were saying.
Yeah. This is kind of related, but kind of unrelated. But just back when you were saying about Man of Steel and BVS, I think, as for me, like, you know, my opinion is growing and stuff, and I think I'm past with Zack Snyder's Justice League and with BVS. I'm past the honeymoon phase of, you know, I'm like, if I am married to the Snyderverse and the Snyder fandom, I think I'm in the past that, and I'm starting to critique it more, and I'm starting to see why people wouldn't have liked it as much, and I have my own criticism and hot takes related to that, but I just noticed that as an individual, I noticed that.
Well,
I've been seeing a lot of things, and now that because I'm kind of getting more into like delving into things and criticizing things, especially with like Loki and Endgame and Infinity War, because like I criticize that a bunch. Yeah, I think I'm past the kind of celebration. Like I was for it. I was with it, you know, and you know, we had the time for celebration, and you know, now we could look at it with a critical eye. For me. Yeah. So like when he said stuff like when he said some, I forgot your name. Oh my god, I blanked. What was
Paul?
Yes,
Paul.
I'm sorry. That was a severe brain fart right there.
I remember yours, Carlos. Thank you.
Oh,
out.
Damn.
You made him leave.
He made himself. He did that too. He did that to himself. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I see where he's coming from. So yeah, this one day where I'm gonna just lay it all out. Hot takes.
And look, my thing with where I lie with the Snyderverse is, you were talking about people who want it to be just like the comic books. I could care less if it's just like the comic books, if it's good. A lot of the Phase 1 Marvel stuff is very different from the comic books. Iron Man 1 is pretty different from the comic books in quite a bit of ways. But it was done well. And I think Man of Steel in a lot of ways is different from the comic books. He murders Zod. He didn't find me the comic book where he kills Zod. But I enjoyed that. I thought it made sense with the plot of the movie. He's a young Superman. Day one, he has to fight somebody as powerful as he is, and he doesn't know what to do. This family's about to kill. He snaps the neck. In Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, if anyone feels differently, that's fine. I'm not going to try to convince anybody of anything. I didn't find any. There was a lot of moments I found myself watching. A, I'm not having a very good time, and B, I'm finding myself going, "What? Like, why is this in this movie?" Like, I was kind of being like passive aggressive on Twitter last night. I was like about the jar of piss thing, and like and Jesse Eisenberg's performance. And I know people are like love that stuff. Some people love that stuff, and they think it's super deep or this, and I just disagree. I don't think it's that deep. And a lot of people think the metaphors with the gods and the demons is super deep. I don't. I think it's kind of forced, and I don't think it works very well. And that's just my opinion. But point being, that's why I don't enjoy those films. And then they do, like, if Batman had rode through all those cars and killed all those people, but I enjoyed the film, I wouldn't have cared. Keaton kills a ton of people in Batman 89 and Batman Returns. I love those movies because I enjoyed them otherwise. Like, for the most part, enjoy those movies in every other aspect. So I'm not going to go, well, Batman killed him if people. So I actually don't like this movie. No, I enjoyed it. And I was like, all right, whatever, it's fine. And so that's where it goes, well, I feel like if they had just done things more like the character I love from the comic books, which is why I'm watching this movie right now, maybe I would have enjoyed it more. And that's where that comes from. I'm not like, it's got to be exactly like the comic books, because nothing's exactly like the comic books. It doesn't matter. And I don't want to watch the same thing over again. You know what I mean? It's like I haven't watched yet Austin saw my rants on Twitter again about why I haven't bought Long Halloween yet. He gave me his login for it though. That's cool. I've heard there's some changes in that, like Catwoman's a bigger character and stuff, and some things with one of the killings that happens in the middle is different. Like characters are present who weren't present in different situations, and I'm sure that's fine. And I've heard very good things about the Long Halloween. But again, to just reiterate, it's not that I want it to be like comic books, but if it's bad or I don't enjoy it, then I go back and go, well, then why didn't they just do this like the comic books? If that makes sense. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And the more I watch it, the more like I like it. It's just, yeah, I'm just looking at it with the critical eye. Jar of piss, I totally get that now. Yeah, what? Like, I guess I get it was a Southern saying, you know, if you piss my leg and tell me it's raining, kind of spin on that. So like, you know, I won't drink your jar of piss if you tell me it's Granny's peach tea. I don't know. Pretty literal. If you just give him a jar of piss, I wonder if it smelled in the courtroom. I didn't know.
I think it was apple juice. To be honest, I think it was apple juice.
That's what I was gonna say. There's like some people who will be like, Superman has all these incredible senses, but he didn't go, there's a lot of piss in here, like a suspicious amount of piss. I don't actually agree with that, but
that's why I have a feeling it's probably apple juice, or it's not literally piss for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's another funny thing. It's like, if it is piss, in the event that it is, did he go around the office getting piss from people, or did he just collect his own piss?
All right,
I want to
collect. I need 5 drops from each of you. All right, you understand?
How just paid some dude to piss in a jar for a week? I don't know.
How did he even place it?
No,
I want you guys. I want you guys to look
his
this
assistant. Mercy, fill this for me.
I saw it within another video, so I don't know how easy it is to find. But there's a supercut of all the weird noises Jesse Eisenberg makes during his Lex Luthor, and it's very funny. He's like, ha, ha, ha. It's just like a 2 minute straight of him doing
I do
that.
too.
I
think it's really entertaining, man. I do.
Yeah.
See, and I didn't. I found it annoying, but to each their own.
I get that. It's kind of moving Lex.
It makes me hate him more, but also find him kind of entertaining.
Right. For me, it toes the line. It's like one of those performances. It's like you know, it's like that scene from Tropic Thunder. You know, you never go full, and it felt like it towed the line of being just like stupid, just straight up stupid, and at some points being really, really good. Like, you know, it was.
I think personally, I just think personally, like just from a films, like Superman films, Eisenberg is easily my favorite of the Lex Luthors, because I was not a fan of Kevin Spacey.
I actually liked Kevin.
Just big old for me. And then Gene Hackman, I was like, oh, that's fun and timely.
Phil knows this already. Him and I were in the same boat. Like, I'm a huge Lex fan in BBS.
I like
he's my favorite.
I understand the way that he was trying to bring him into the modern day, where we have these, you know, tech billionaires, philanthropists, kind of.
Well, and speaking of comics, that's based off a comic iteration.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing.
Like a Zuckerberg, or
it's just a matter of the performance and the execution is where people have their issues, and that's totally understandable.
Yeah, exactly. And like I like that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think Jesse Eisenberg nailed it. I think he did exactly what they wanted him to do. I don't think he was like bad or not what they wanted him to be. Like, you know, most of the time people are like, and that's the thing. I'm not saying if you listen back, I haven't said it was a bad performance once. It's just not one that I enjoyed. He understood the assignment. He did his homework. He went forth and did what he was assigned to do. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah, and like I understand like how they wanted to make him like so socially awkward, because he's thinking a million miles a minute, and his kind of cognitive, you know, like fortitude is so above everybody else that he's like playing 5D chess while everybody else is playing checkers. You know what I mean?
Right.
I kind of get that they were trying to go for that. And like, you know, he thinks he's superior and knowledge is power. And if I'm so smart, if I'm the smartest guy in the world, but you know, my knowledge means nothing to the likes of Superman, I kind of get that. But I mean, looking back on it, when I think of Lex and I look at the comics and stuff like that, and Lex cures cancer, cures AIDS or whatever, becomes a president and becomes a literal like god in the like in one of the iterations, like am I like, can this guy really cure cancer? I don't know if he can.
I think he could, but he doesn't want to.
And that's
He's
why
not on his mind.
Zach wanted to do with Lex Luthor, because he was just going to turn him into the super psychotic super villain who heads the Legion of Doom, and that is like my Lex Luthor personally, because I love that from the Super Friends era, because that was all I used to watch on reruns growing up. That was my jam. So like seeing that brought forth in the live action, like I could only like imagine what like Jesse Eisenberg would look like in that like kind of a purple getup with like maybe a ray gun or something. That I think that should.
But it was it was also like what was his plan with Doomsday? Like I know the sympathetic villain is like that's like the big thing in the modern day. It's like we need a sympathetic villain. We need to have him have motivations that we understand and that we can kind of relate to, and he kind of has good intentions, but it's always the wrong methodology. And it's like, I know people kind of yearn for that, but having Lex kind of actually care about humanity, but kind of elevates humanity and mostly himself because he wants to rule humanity, but like, be like, well, I need to stop Superman because this is my planet. These are my people, and or in a kind of in a more enough, I was gonna say in a more superiority complex kind of way. These are my subjects. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm like, then why would he create an abomination from Kryptonian DNA and stuff like that?
He thought he could control him.
Yeah,
he said, it's born to destroy you.
If it's so
my creation, it will obey me.
If it's so vile and stuff like that, and then again,
but then he realizes quickly, no, it's going to kill you anyway, and then Superman saves him.
Exactly, and then also they revealed too, just real quick, like today, like they revealed Zack Snyder said, like Justice League 3 would have ended with
Lex sacrificing himself.
Lex nuking Darkseid's ship with Lex in it, but Lex would betray because he realizes he has that overthink. Like, I'm not going to lose to this guy. This guy isn't going to take mankind from me. Mankind's supposed to be.
He has a heroic end.
It's a heroic end, but it's still out of the motivation of like. Yeah, you're not gonna beat me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take us both out.
So basically, he goes from like hating, the superiority of like gods and such, to literally like helping a physical embodiment of a god to like save mankind in the world, and I think that's powerful. Like even Superman, like had in a way made Lex Luthor turn into a somewhat good person. I mean, he's still a terrible individual, but. It's crazy. I mean, he would have done that for the league.
He's been a part of the Justice League in a couple different comic books. So.
I get.
They've used him before. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's his full circle. It's crazy, man. I want to see it.
Yeah, he swings back and forth all the time. Like in the at the beginning of Scott Snyder's run, he was working with the Justice League and No Justice, and then slowly but surely through the beginning of the first arc of Scott Snyder's Justice, which I like. Scott's. It's wacky as hell, but I like it.
Yeah,
and he turns on them again, and then he's back and forth all the time. Most of the time, it turns out like whether it be a retcon or planned, it turns out that he had like underlying plans most of the time. Right. But sometimes he is legit like.
Wasn't No Justice that story that was like all the big giant titans and there was like big old that story was actually.
I enjoyed it. It was that was
fun shit.
Like. There was like entropy and some other stuff, like four like
there was like four giant cosmic titans,
and there was teams like I think there was like a entropy team, there was a something else team. It's like it was like colors, like Batman was in the purple. I think Lex Luthor might have been in. I think
Batman and Lex Luthor, I think, were on the same team.
We're on the same team, and then. At the end of it, Martian Manhunter's like the source wall is broken, and I can't remember if that's from the No Justice event or Death Metals, or excuse me, Metals, because Death Metals was later.
It's right.
Like
I think it's no Justice, because Death Metals totally different.
Yeah, but Metals was led into No Justice, and then there was
other way around.
No. Metals ended and went into No Justice.
Oh wait, I'm thinking Dark Knight Metals. You're right.
Death Metals was after Scott Snyder's Justice League run. It's Death Metal or it's Metal, No Justice, his run on Justice League, and then Death Metals.
That's right.
But I like that run. But to our point, Luthor kind of swings back and forth of that a couple times, and he's a little more like I like a Lex Luthor who's a little more like. What's it called? He's like jockish. But he's also super smart, like the way he's in All-Star Superman
or animated series. the animated
Yeah,
series.
exactly.
too.
Clancy Brown does a fantastic job.
He
voicing
does.
Lex
Oh
Luthor.
yeah, he's a great Luthor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
one of my favorite things about like Lex Luthor, and it's one of the only explanations for like you don't really have to have much suspension of disbelief to go, well, Lex Luthor grew up with Superman and Clark Kent. Why can't he figure it out? And I think it's in Birthright. I don't remember. I may be wrong about that.
Yeah,
He's
it is
like,
in Birthright.
why can't Lex Luthor figure it out? It's like, because he can't believe that anyone from the same town as him is better than him. He can't do it. He cannot believe that Clark Kent is Superman because then it means he's not the best. And he's got such a huge superiority complex that he just won't let himself believe it. Yeah, exactly. And I love that about the character. I think it's super interesting. And he never really gets over it. And even when he does like help him, it's always to be like, see, I was like, even in like his dying breaths to help Superman win, he'd be like, you only won because of me. And like that's his.
I'm sure.
And I
could actually see Jesse's Lex. That's like his last words before he.
I can see that
nukes
too. I can see that
a dark side ship.
Yeah.
I was actually sad to watch Lex Luthor die and deceased. I don't know if you guys read that. But that's
he gets ripped in half by was it Wonder Woman?
Yep.
I think he's like, so he turns.
It's so brutal, but it's such a good story.
This moment's so good. He turns. He looks at Green Arrow. He's like, I'm the smartest man alive, right? I'm the smartest man alive. And then he turns to Green Arrow and goes, Bruce is dead, right? Or Batman's dead, right? And Green Arrow goes, yeah. He goes, okay, yeah, I am the smartest guy alive. And then he gets ripped in half. It's so crazy.
Whoa!
Oh, you guys need to read DC.
So good.
Tom Taylor is unbelievable. DC.
Tom Taylor is the man.
Yeah,
he is the man at DC right now. He's doing Nightwing. He's about to do
got
the
the
new Superman book.
Oh
man, his detective. Oh man, the detective is the Batman book of the year, no question.
I didn't love the first issue of Detective, but the second and third one have turned me around on it. I really love those. And then we're kind of getting a little comic booky now, but
yeah, go for it.
And then like Tom Taylor and Philip Kennedy Johnson. And Josh Williamson are the big three at DC right now. Williamson's doing the Infinite Frontier event, which is Darkseid has killed like the Spectre, the Guardian of Oa, and a couple other individuals that I can't remember off the top of my head. And he's got all his power, and that event's starting up. The Robin from Josh Williamson is great. Nightwing. Tom Taylor's
Nightwing. I'm in love with Nightwing right now.
Is the best comic book on the shelf right now. Anywhere, any company. It's the best, and it's not close. It's really not close. The writing from Tom Taylor and the art from Bruno Ferrando is unbelievable.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and those covers that they keep releasing. Even though I go and get the first issue, I end up sometimes going to get the second and third issue covers.
I don't know.
The art that they're doing for this is so good, and the artists that they're bringing in for those covers.
And he's doing a mini series from Marvel called The Dark Ages, and I'm like,
I tweeted. I was like, that's the most excited I've been for a Marvel comic in.
I mean, ever. Don Cates is a pretty solid writer.
Donny Cates is killing it.
Yeah.
I haven't read Marvel in probably like 5 years at least.
And Cates kind of switched. Cates is going to be on the Hulk, and Al Ewing is going to be on Venom now.
Yep.
And I like Ewing's Venom or Hulk run. It's kind of weird. I have the first volume right here. Actually, it's kind of like he's a creature of the night again. But there's some really huge writers that are doing some really great things. And if you guys haven't, there's the Alien, Marvel Alien, which is I think there's 4 out right now. It's Philip Kennedy Johnson, the same guy that's doing the super awesome action comics right now.
Yep.
That's incredible. It's like watching an Alien movie. It's so good.
Any Turtle fans here?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the Eternals. I'm kind of
no. I said Turtles. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Like
I thought you said Eternals.
No.
Last Ronin and stuff. I haven't really got into it, but I've heard.
Oh man, I love The Last Ronin. It's okay. So if The Detective is my favorite Batman book of the year, TMNT Last Ronin is my favorite comic of the year, and that's only out 3 issues already out of 5.
Yeah. And it's what is it bi-monthly? Is it every 2 months?
It's like every couple of months. Their schedule's kind of because of COVID and a bunch of other shit. But yeah.
But yeah, there's some great stuff going on.
There is,
yeah. And then speaking of comics, actually, I wanted to bring up something because today, somebody tweeted, and I had to find the tweet here because I should have been prepared, but I'm not.
On the Bird app, yeah.
Sorry if I'm not speaking. By the way, I'm not a big comic book reader. I know I'm a normie. I'm a casual.
I know.
love the
And
Nintendo
I'm
shirt.
trying to keep up.
Thanks.
It's just there's
I'm not into
literally so
words.
many.
I'm very
comics
very
coming out
picky
right now.
with my comments.
Like I know, like you see that bookshelf back there? That's full of old textbooks from like freaking when I was in school.
I will.
So-
I mainly go follow writers, not runs. Like I'm not reading Batman right now, and I actually like James Tynion. I like his Something Skilling the Children stuff, and the Nice House on the Lake, I think it's called. He just started it. But I haven't really been reading it because I didn't like Tom King's Batman very much. I don't like he did too much with the Catwoman Batman dynamic. I didn't love it.
See, that's funny because I didn't read his initial run. I'm collecting Batcat because I like Clayman's art.
Yeah, that's the Clayman's art is good. I have the War of Riddles and Jokes, and that's the
Clayman's
only
really
like
good.
trade paperback
art.
that I got. I think that's Janin though. I think he did most of the art on that.
Janin.
Yeah, he did most of the art in that. But his art is good too. But yeah, I haven't the Ghostmaker seems like another freaking Hush. Like he's an old friend from the past who's doing something else, and I'm like, if this turns out to be like people rave about it, I'll get the collected editions. But if not, I'm not gonna put Batman on my pull box.
I mean, I get it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I personally like Tynan's run of Batman thus far. The Joker run, the Joker War, that one wasn't half bad, but like I get it. I mean, Jimenez does some pretty solid art.
Jimenez is great.
Oh, it's pretty fantastic. Like Super Sons is sauce. But I love the way he's doing Batman and the way he's doing Harley, the way he's doing a lot of these other characters. And I get it. You know, that's kind of like the expectation with new characters, especially ones made in like, you know, such a more modern present era, especially a character like Ghostmaker, who's essentially like, he's kind of like a Taskmaster variant, but he's like trying to be a better Batman than Batman in certain ways. It's kind of strange, but at the same time, like, I can kind of appreciate his cocky ass attitude because he's trying to be like a super vigilante, but you know.
And I've read I've watched a couple of recaps on YouTube from like I think maybe Variant or whatever, but I haven't really he seems like Hush if Hush was trying to be a hero. If Thomas Elliott was like trying to be the next Bat, but like I said, I haven't read it, so I can't pass judgment on it. But it just hasn't seemed like something I want to put on my pull box. I have an obscene amount of stuff on my pull box, so I'm trying to keep it as light as I can.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff out right now that like I'm trying to keep up. I know this is uncomic book or I guess Marvel DC. Really, I'm trying to keep up and read the Dune stuff from Boone Studios.
Oh, there you go.
Because I really want to see that or read it before the movie comes out. But with that, and then all the DC stuff, and then I'm trying to catch up on or start Something's Killing the Children because Paul's been telling me about it for so long.
Frank has the first and second volume. He might even have the third. I might be able to get him and give him to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be great. It's just, I mean, I can get them. It's just like there's so much to read. Like there's, I mean, so.
Did you find that tweet you were looking for?
The what?
Did you find the tweet you were looking for?
I did.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so here it is. So this morning, I guess, Grant Morrison, who's a writer for Superman and DC.
I know where this is going.
I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions.
I got some thoughts.
Oh, good. I think we all have thoughts. This is good. Yes. I'm excited. Grant Morrison, I'll just read the tweet. Grant Morrison dislikes the idea of Superman becoming a tyrant after the death of Lois. Quote, unquote, the idea that Superman would react to the death of Lois Lane by becoming a tyrant is ridiculous. My mom and dad died, and I didn't become a tyrant. If I can handle it, Superman can handle it.
I love that.
Who wants to start?
Okay. I love Grant Morrison's work more often than not.
Yeah.
This is hands down one of the only few things I will just be like, you could have worded that better, bud.
Yeah.
Just one of the few things. But like honestly, I'm just like, you know, you've done some pretty questionable things with like Batman. And it's like
yeah.
Superman being
I'm a big Batman Arkham Asylum comic fan, so yeah, I
love that book.
You know, I love that a lot of people latched onto this just being a sole jab at like, you know, Snyder Superman. It's like, well, no,
everybody
exactly
it was not. It
Not
was
even
not.
not.
Yeah.
He was talking about Tom Taylor's Injustice.
The literal comic Injustice. Yeah.
Or even maybe even just the video game, because the video game supersedes the comic story.
It does. You're correct. You're correct.
So even still, but even still, like just the concept of like, oh, if Lois Lane dies, Superman becomes a tyrant. It's like, Superman's become a tyrant in a couple different ways, bud. Just have to like loosen his humanity screw out of the way, and he's like all full blown, damn near General Zod.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
well, there, that wasn't the only. That was the inciting event, and but I kind of see where he's going with.
I tend to agree with him too.
A bit, like
I understand it
because when I think about it like deeply, it's like, okay, you're telling me Superman's only root in humanity is his wife. And
what about Martha or Jonathan or
and literally it's like, okay, like, hey, I'm sorry, but like us normal humans that you don't know the name to, humans in Central City, humans across the seas, humans in whatever, we die every day, okay? And like, and we don't expect you to cry over it and stuff like that. But I feel like it, like, you expect a loss. You're in this business. You're in the business of saving the world, and you feel like you have an obligation to. And you don't owe the world a thing because you weren't even from here. But Superman has that obligation to do that. So to think that the only thing that was tying Superman to humanity was just his relationship to Lois, and that we on our own merits didn't accrue any favor in him, and just because one person died, he would become a tyrant. I kind of understand it. It's like, then who are you then? Like, if all of my family were deceased and I had it, like, okay, I can't say if I had his power because I don't know how I would be, but I wouldn't have a grudge against humanity. I won't become like a complete nihilist and say screw you, screw you, screw you, screw you. I hate everyone.
Oh, if it's me, everybody burns. I'm kidding.
Everybody dies. Everybody dies.
For me, like I'm a Christian. I have a religious founding, but but beyond that, I'm just like, I don't want to rule. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to see anybody suffer. Period. You know what I mean? It's bad.
Absolutely.
It's bad.
I think for me,
so I
feel like Superman's reaction would be more kind of like Kingdom Come, where he's like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to my farm.
Yeah, I'm out.
Like, if humanity, I'm out of here. Like, I'm tending to my animals, my crops, and I'm not doing anymore. Like, get out of here. I think that's a more something. Like, for me, I get where Tom Taylor was coming from for Injustice, but I feel like I don't know. It just
whoever it was that came.
I think the key thing to remember with Injustice, though, is that Lois Lane not only died, she was part of a manipulated plan. She was also pregnant, and then following her death,
Metropolis.
A lot of other not only Metropolis was blown to shit, sure, but like a lot of other people just kept fueling and just making Superman's trauma all that much worse and slowly degenerating him into the tyrant we all could fear him to be had that happen. Yeah. But to Grant Morrison's point, just on the character of Superman as a whole, like as he's been presented through his 80 some odd years of history,
right?
Sure, yeah, don't keep him a tyrant. And I think a lot of people really just cling to that concept when it comes to Snyder's take on the character. But it's like, look, Snyder only toyed with it to show that Clark Kent had a human side. There was humanity to Superman, and that there is a dark side to humanity.
I could also believe it more because it was the anti-life that was able to seep
in
there was anti-life and take over when he was weak in that moment, when he was his mind was susceptible, and that's how he turned into a tyrant.
From like a purely comics writing perspective, and Grant Morrison being a comic writer, I can understand why he feels the way he does, but he does make a bit of a generalization about it.
I think that there is definitely, I don't love the Superman tyrant thing because the reason I love Superman is because he is idealistic, because he is the guy that no matter what happens, he is going to do the right thing. He's going to be the best. He is always going to be the best that he can possibly be. And that's why I love All-Star Superman, which, go figure, was written by Grant Morrison. His life is falling apart. He's dying. He's trying to figure stuff out. Things are going left and right, up, down, and center. And the best part of that thing, and it drives home the point of Superman is going to be Superman in the mainline continuity. I'll get to my point. Or at least this is the Superman you know and love. He's got all this crap going on, and he's dying. He's losing his family and this, that, and the other thing. And he's listening to everything. He's talking to Lois, and he hears this little girl or this girl's mom cry out. She's like, Regan, where are you? And Superman's like, I got to be right back. And he goes and stops this girl from committing suicide. And he doesn't like snatch her up and just bring her inside. It's a lot like Batman War on Crime with the kid who wants to shoot him. Batman could just snatch the gun from him, but he doesn't. He does something more profound. He makes a friend of this little girl and is like, "You're not alone. It's okay." And that's Superman to me. And my favorite version of Superman would never do that, but that doesn't mean there's not a place for stories like that.
Yeah.
Where you can contrive a reason to where he would go crazy, because a lot of the times one of the reasons Batman's has all these contingencies is because what if he does go crazy? What if he does get his mind controlled like he does in Batman Endgame and things like that? And it's like, that wouldn't be interesting if it was never explored in comics. Like, it was never, what if he does? I think you made a really good point that it is more than just Lois dying in Injustice. And I would like to think that Superman would find a way to rise above it, but also I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. And I think there's good reasons in there for why he did lose his mind. And so, point being, I agree with Grant Morrison that Superman shouldn't. I think what he was trying to say is 9 times out of 10 in most stories, Superman shouldn't fall to that, like becoming a dictator, ruler, totalitarianism.
Right.
But to your point, I think those stories are good and important, and the reasons are not as bad as maybe that Grant Morrison made them seem to be. And one story I want to bring up is Red Son, which I think toes the line really well.
Yeah, that's another one, yeah.
But Superman's not a tyrant in that. If you watch that, he is not a tyrant. Superman is the man that he is in the regular continuity. He just was born in a communist state, and that he believes that to be the right thing to do.
Yep.
And even in like small moments, he's still Superman. He still wants to help everybody. He still wants to like bring like the best life he possibly could to everybody. He just thinks communism is the way to do that. And then quickly they find out by the end that it's not. And then the way that comic ends is bonkers.
Yeah,
I'm not a Mark Millar fan, but I love that animated movie.
Yeah, I actually, that's actually one of the ones I don't like Red Son that much. I'm not that crazy about it, but I know people are. I mean, I think of it this way, like
more.
I haven't seen the animated.
I didn't
movie.
like the comic or the animated.
Mason Isaac voices Superman. It's actually pretty sauce.
I haven't seen it. I might check it out though, actually.
Yeah, I really like the comic. It's really good. I do think that, you know, is kind of like you. I agree with what you said, Philip. That you know, it was just so poorly worded. I think, if anything, especially for a writer, I would think like, I mean, yes, I understand, right? His core story, Superman's core story, is, you know, the all-star Superman, and like you said, right? That's why you love Superman, Paul. You know, because he's all this and all that. I personally couldn't have really cared less about Superman until something like Injustice came along, because for me, I don't see the point, or I don't see a lot of interesting stories in Superman because he's so powerful and because he's all this, and it never connected with me until like, and I tweeted that today, like, because it's like, what's your hot take on Superman? Like, I didn't care about him until Man of Steel and Injustice.
My hot take was that
the complete opposite. Yeah, the complete opposite of what most people love Superman for is not why. For me, what makes him interesting is when you take a character of his power and start to do things like make him a tyrant, make him, you know, because of course, like the easy story is he's the ultimate Boy Scout for me. I
hate when people use that terminology. He's the ultimate Boy Scout. It's like, I mean, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with being good or decent to a fault. You know what I mean?
I don't either. I just don't see the story.
It literally just comes
Austin
naturally.
just doesn't find it interesting. He doesn't think that's bad. You just don't find
I don't think it's bad at all. I mean, it's good. He's a good guy, obviously.
No. I think some people, that concept alone is all they ride on in terms of the character. It's like Superman is, he is good to a fault. You know what I mean? And he, you know, naturally he's like, well, I gotta help this person, or you know, sees the best in situations, and would rather talk out than use his fist. You know what I mean? I mean, that's why he never really became. He studied some martial arts, but he never became like Batman, just, you know, making his body a living weapon. You know what I mean?
He studied some Kryptonian martial arts in some iterations.
To be honest, I really want to see that version of Superman where he makes himself a living weapon. He's still like a good guy, but he'd
be unstoppable.
I want him to be like,
even though he already is.
Because I hate when people say Superman's a boxer, and it's like, no, he throw some kicks in there, you know, be pretty strong.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the day Superman does a roundhouse kick, that'll be great. Well, he did a front kick in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I just kind of thought about the fact that
Sparta.
Morrison's comment there was indirectly a little bit of an indictment against the Snyderverse, even though like we know he wasn't directing it towards that. It could be very well be taken as that, and it does transfer. But ironically enough, the storyline that Snyder was taking and was doing, it doesn't exist without Morrison. Rock of Ages, Final Crisis. Guess who wrote those?
Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison. Those stories don't happen without Grant Morrison. Snyder doesn't have this template in the anti-life matter and the freaking life equation, anti-life equation without Grant Morrison. So it's a weird kind of contradiction.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say, and I didn't want to say it as it's for me it's kind of surprising as a writer. It comes out as just kind of ignorant, so, you know, like why? Like I understand where he's coming from, but as a writer, you also know like the point of and like the fun of having these characters, like you can do whatever you want with them, like. Like that's like there's really no you don't have to give an explanation. Like we get like that's the core storyline, but also
that's why
you know,
I stopped getting so mad at like Batman killing, because that's just something that's so fucking sorry.
This goes right over your head.
I completely agree. I'm you know, I was totally, you know, I know people were real upset. That was a big argument I got into with people, was like Batman doesn't kill him in Batman versus Superman. I'm like, I don't care. And I get the motivation, right? And I know, you know, people are like, oh, that goes.
I think for me,
against the whole core. I was like, I don't care.
I think for me, it's not so much as like I don't care, but like when people go when I see the words from some account or whatever, like the definitive, like Batman doesn't kill, I'm like, that's actually factually incorrect, because technically throughout his canonical history, he has, dating all the way back to his first appearances in comics. Yeah. And people just love to forget about that.
I think with like the Snyderverse in like BVS and Man of Steel, there was just nothing to ground us in what we like, and it wasn't required, but there was nothing to ground us in what we believed the heroes to be. You know what I mean? There was nobody who was the constant or our previous perception of it. And what I mean is like the Superman of the Snyderverse is the Superman, but before the Superman we know and love. So he's the Superman yet to be. And then the Batman was the Batman that was. Because so he was the Batman we used to know, and then he wasn't anymore. So I feel like if they were to kind of move the dials a little bit and you know, by the time BBS rolls around, Superman is getting into his skin, you know what I mean? Which he kind of is. I mean, you could say he became the real Superman when he decided to sacrifice himself and say, this is my world. You know,
so
that was a good step in the right direction.
I do want to touch on this. This is another problem I have with BVS. There's like a constant or a back and forth kind of undertone of there's like the end of the love affair with the man in the sky. That this is that and the other thing. People love.
I feel like there never was a love affair.
That's what I was about to say. There's a couple of scenes in BVS where they try to sell that. The Dias de las Muertas scene and the scene where he's like floating like a god over the top of the people on the rooftops. But for me, that wasn't enough. That wasn't especially with all the crap he was getting during that time. If Superman had been a completely beloved character like he is most of the time, and then all this stuff started happening, and then there's a conflict and going, oh, well, is this the end of the love? There was never a love affair. He was always polarizing. He was never unequivocally 90% of people loved him. That never happened in those movies. I feel it didn't.
There's a whole 18 months that happens in that movie that is just a title card. And that is all 18 months of Superman action that we do not witness, and just and I'm not disagreeing with anything.
I was going to say, and for that,
absolutely valid, 100%. But you know, like to your point, we got
a hint of it at the newspaper clippings. And
there's that. There's also after.
But that doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, how much is that going to affect your viewing experience?
And then you're right. He could have endeared himself in those 18 months, but I'm going to see a movie for stuff to see stuff, not to be like, oh, well, I guess that could have happened then. But I don't want to guess that happened then. I want to see it so I can be more impactful later in the movie.
I've even heard, a long time ago that maybe Superman had another movie in between Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. There might be something there to explore there with all those concepts. So
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be a pretty cool. Yeah, I agree. Because it would establish, all that stuff that you said. I mean, for me, like I said, going into it, because Superman's not like one of my favorite characters or anything. I was cool with what they did there. I think the biggest issue I had with the theatrical cut of BVS, and when I walked out, and the biggest issue, because I do think that the Ultimate Edition is like, it's night and day. They're different movies. It's much better, but still not perfect. But my biggest issue, even with the Ultimate Cut too, is it feels like it's taking all of these great comic book storylines that in their own right should be their own movies, and just like mashing the best moments of those into one.
It did seem a little bit like, whether this is what Zach was trying to do or not, it seemed like he wanted to do everything that he could, and that was to the detriment of the movie sometimes. He wanted to do Super Friends. He wanted to do The Dark Knight Returns. He wanted to do The Death of Superman. He wanted to do Superman and Lois. He wanted to do all these different kind of stories in one movie, and I feel like it clashed at times, and it made it a little incohesive for me as well, and overlong. I mean, especially when I'm bored, if a movie's like super long, like I never find myself, and if you disagree, I could understand, but I never find myself sitting there bored watching Endgame, even though it's a 3-hour movie. And I know how long is the Ultimate Edition? Just shy of 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours. There's lots of moments where I'm either bored or going, I mean, this is a leap, or okay. And I mean, I'm kind of pooping on it. It has its moments. I think the warehouse scene get all the praise it gets, it deserves, and probably more. That's an incredible, the best action scene that Batman has ever had.
And I wish we got more.
And it is not close. It is not even close. And then there's the opening scene to Batman versus Superman. That might be one of the best opening scenes ever. You see Bruce Wayne shining through as he is, the hero that he is. Doesn't matter if he's got the Batman suit on. He runs into the smoke while everyone's running away to go in. And even
he's helping kids, everything.
Exactly. Even if the reasoning why his employees stayed in the tower, I don't think was that great of a reasoning to be like, we're gonna wait for the boss. But the overall point of that moment worked. And initially, at least, it worked for me going, I can understand why he's mad at Superman. I think it kind of fell apart a little bit for me as the movie went on, and like the way they reacted, and just the general lack of communication between either the two of them or just common sense from one of them. Like if there was like, I haven't seen it in a little while, so I can't call up specific moments, but I'm sure at some point they could have figured it out and not gotten to the point where it did. Maybe not. But that's how I felt watching it. And I like, you know what I mean? I shouldn't, a person who loves these two characters, I shouldn't leave a movie like that going, I should leave a movie like that losing my mind. You know what I mean? Like I should be like, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, and just to hitch on that, like to go with, I think they really should have dived headfirst into that xenophobe kind of mindset that humanity had against Superman. I get that. You know, that like if that's, you know, the real world aspect you want to get into, I totally understand that. We criticize people all the time for what they tweet 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So of course we're gonna criticize a literal superhero, you know, a person beyond our comprehension that could do things that aren't even physically possible, you know.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but I think they should have delved headfirst into that and kind of made it his mission, Superman's mission to repair that damage. You know what I mean? So like having the CAIDEN in it too, where he is both beloved and hated. It kind of now looking back on it, you know, me with Hot Take Central right now, I personally didn't like it. And I think if they wanted to feed into that more, well, we know there was video footage of the incident of the end fight from Man of Steel, because Batman has it on his monitor. You see, you know, Zod and Superman flying through the sky, or Zod punching Superman in front of the oil tanker that exploded into the parking lot. You know, we could have had a whole thing with that where, you know, footage leaked online and, you know, people are hating Superman now. Yep. And going to Congress is him like kind of amending for that. But of course, Lex Luthor takes that chance away from him. I get that part of the story. I just think the third act with Doomsday and Lex's plan, even if he was going to control Doomsday, I think that didn't serve enough comeuppance to make the world love him again. I think personally it should have been Bizarro. It should have been something more of Lex's creation, and also a kind of foil to what Superman truly is and what the public believes he is to be. You know what I mean? Because if Bizarro is looking exactly like Superman, wearing a Kryptonian suit and has the likeness of Superman, maybe maybe when Batman cut hit Superman's face, Lex sent a drone, got a blood sample, used it on Zod body, merged the DNA, and made a clone of Superman that became Bizarro. I would understand that. You know what I mean? And now Superman has the mindset, okay, this is another me versus Zod fight. What am I going to do differently? And the place isn't populated. The port isn't abandoned.
The first thing he does, he takes Doomsday to space.
I'm not faulting him for that in that movie, but just I feel like nobody else knew about that except for the military, because all of we've been seeing, what happened? Okay, what happened just before that? Doomsday fried all the electronics in the area, and any CNN news helicopter that was in there doesn't have footage of Superman taking that monster into space. You know what I mean?
They heard his cry. He literally screams when he dies. They're like, oh yeah, that's a death cry.
No, well, that's the end of the fight. I'm talking about the beginning of the fight. Yeah. So all we know is big thing happened, crisis averted, and Superman sacrificed himself. Yeah, I still don't think that alleviates for that. So if Superman came in the
whoa,
I believe it.
So Papa's back, ladies and gentlemen.
The last thing I'm going to say about the scene at the beginning of Batman versus Superman, it's better in the Ultimate Cut. I still don't think it works because they all get shot and then they get flamethrower to make it look like
the Africa scene.
Yeah, to make them look like they got heat vision. But those bodies were recovered, and the minute they did an autopsy, it would be easy to tell that these people died from gunshot wounds, not a flamethrower. But you could make the argument that someone in the government withheld that information, and that's why people still believe that it was. But
yeah, because the bullets, they were made of Kryptonian metals from I think it was the scout ship. I think they mentioned.
Well, yeah, since when did Superman run around shooting people?
I mean, and also doesn't his rays have radiation?
They would also have to extradite bodies from a country that was not.
Yeah, that had a civil
it was
war
a metal made by LexCorp because Lex didn't have the kryptonite by that point.
Yeah.
He was still working with contingencies.
It was a prototype. It was a prototype.
Yeah.
Prototype military rounds. But I think I don't find a problem with that. Just
my only point being is I don't think that was that solid. In my opinion, was that solid?
I don't agree. I actually agree with you. Actually,
that they could have. I have no answers. I have no answers to the problems, the polls that I am poking. I have nothing to fill them with. So if you're looking for that, I don't have it. Sorry. And if you think my opinion's invalid for that, that's okay. I think that's fair. Okay. But I don't think the whole desert scene was a great way of framing Superman for killing a bunch of people in Africa. He definitely killed one dude, though. That dude that he slammed through through the wall. That guy died.
I don't think he's dead.
Did you slam me?
A couple broken ribs at most.
Zach decided, we were going to shoot some B-roll, but no. He's
I will just say that when it comes to just adaptions, specifically of superheroes, ones that have been around for well over 60, 80 years, whatever. When you're working with so many different people who've been handed the creative reins for so many different ways, they are up to their own interpretation. How that interpretation gets digested and talked about, again, that's why we're all here. But more specifically, on Snyder's take, I am often than not. I adore the trilogy. I think it's just absolutely. It's probably the most perfect trilogy in my opinion of comic book trilogies out there. But again, it's all subjective. I love saying that. I love hearing Ray Smith say that on Friends Without Borders. But it truthfully is because everyone has their own preference on how Superman should be adapted, how Batman should be adapted, even Wonder Woman and Aquaman. That's the thing about these characters now is now to a whole generation of people, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is the Wonder Woman. Jason Momoa's Aquaman.
That's fantastic.
Exactly, right? That he is the Aquaman. And even on the other side of the fence, you've got Robert Downey Jr., who is now Iron Man to a couple different generations of people. You've got Steve Rogers, who just passed his mantle on to Anthony Mackie.
I think Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie are becoming those types of characters.
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
These are household names.
Yeah,
Anthony Mackie's
instead of
his
seeing the
Falcon's going to be
comic
looked
book-
back so fondly upon.
Yeah, instead of seeing, you know, how, like for us, we see the comic book character.
Yeah.
For even us now, I feel like when we think of these characters, we see the actors.
I agree
to an extent. Yeah,
which is how you know they made it.
I agree.
That's true.
And to your point, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting your name, Detective Philip. There you go. Okay. There you go, Carlos. I forgot somebody's name.
Gotcha.
I think, although like I said, I don't enjoy that trilogy as much as other people. I think the fact that I would have loved to have these movies growing up to be able to see that stuff. So the fact that people have that is fantastic. It's incredible. I love that someone has gotten to see, the kid growing up got to see Wonder Woman on screen, got to see X, Y, and Z on screen, because that's all I wanted when I was a kid. And all I ever got was Batman and a mediocre Superman every once in a while. So I'm totally.
I endured X-Men: The Last Stand for this. Okay,
Ryan,
what's showing my age there?
You said you think General Zod is still alive?
No, the general, the African general.
Oh, no.
I mean, Zod did technically come back to life, in another form.
You know, thinking back on it now, I kind of have another criticism with BVS. With that
Jesus,
guy,
Carlos, how much more you got, man?
With that guy,
dude, don't get him started on Endgame.
Thinking about it, like the Superman and Man of Steel cried out because he killed the last person in this race, General Zod, and he knew that was his only choice. That wasn't the optimal choice, you know. Like if he could have chose something different, he would have let him live if he could live peacefully. Blah blah blah. But I
mean, literally in the next scene, he says to Lois, "I didn't kill anyone. I didn't kill those men. If that's what the public's thinking."
He killed one man. That guy's dead.
He did not kill him.
I mean, the movie
Get out of here. He did not kill him.
He smashed into like three, dude. The G's, the whiplash.
You're acting like he could. He hasn't done that before and probably not killed anyone.
I just think if
I was kind of joking. I agree that he's not dead because he's not dead within the movie, so he's not dead. Like if the movie says he's not dead, then he's not dead.
Let me put it this way: if Clark Kent tells me that he didn't kill anybody, and
he didn't kill anybody,
reason to believe that
he did not kill anybody. Even if he's with Lois, I'm sure he'd be like, "Yeah, babe, I
think you're talking about like
babe, I messed up. I'm so sorry."
No, but he literally says, "I didn't kill anybody," so he didn't kill anybody.
No, he said, "I didn't kill those men." If that's what they're thinking, that's what he says.
That also includes the general. Then
the general would also apply because he's part of the.
Yeah,
in context,
to are
the bodies that are burned because in context of Lois seeing the
but he's also still referencing like
hearing where
like
she
why
says,
would he exert just the general and just say the men like
this first came fire and stuff like that.
He's still alive.
One of our
he's in prison.
One of our old co-hosts, who we are searching for a replacement for, by the way, if anyone's interested. He used to say that Superman never smiled. I actually went back and throughout the 3 films, 4 if you count Justice League, he smiles 14 times.
Sorry, he's not cheesing the whole time.
That's
14 times he smiles.
I want to say like, if your only criticism of those movies is that
that's what I was about
Superman
to say.
didn't smile.
If it's the smile crap or if it's the red trunks, I'm done.
Like
you guys will
I
never
reject your hypothesis. Like, get out of here.
I will criticize those movies all day long. I think I've done it. I think I've proved that. But I will never do something like that.
You know,
I will never do something like
that. I love that you've done it in such a respectful manner because there are just a lot of people who just do it to be so malicious. Like there are some people out there who are just like, man, those damn Snyder kids. It's like, dude, you're a 40-year-old guy, bald.
Exactly.
And
you know what? I love that you guys love it. Like, I love that you guys enjoy something.
Yeah, that we can have a conversation.
I like the discourse. because if we all just sat around here circle jerking, what fun is that?
It's a little fun. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, the pleasure is.
I'm joking. Calm down.
saying.
It's a joke.
It's only fun for the person receiving.
But that's the thing about my old co-host and I.
There you go.
My old co-host and I, we would never agree on anything, and
that's unfortunate. I know what that's like, Ty, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's what got us on the map.
I agree with you, Ty.
Is
Male Batman could be replaced with an agent. I got you.
The discourse, like the not agreeing. So when, like, for Paul, we asked him, because Justice is no longer with us. Like, for Paul, we asked him to step in when he can, and it's because Paul brings that to the table. He brings that opposite view of mine to the table, and then it makes for good conversation.
I 100% agree. And the only thing that I'll like, there's very few things that I'll like not like give to people, and you'll understand what I mean here in a second. There's people like the Rotten Tomato score for Black Widow is out and it's like 88%, and there's people who are freaking out. They're like, this movie isn't that good, who haven't seen it.
Oh my God, we did a poll. What was it?
And I was like, how are you going to be, because they were like, oh my God, this is rated higher than Infinity War. That's ridiculous. How do you know it's ridiculous? You haven't seen the movie. There's hundreds of people on Twitter talking about, this is rated too highly. You haven't seen it. So all you're doing is outing yourself for creating opinion of something before you've actually gone and seen it.
We have a problem this day and age where people rely far too much on Rotten Tomato scores.
Or checkmark in general.
Well, okay, hold on. And I want to
in general.
People blame Rotten Tomatoes and they're like, Rotten Tomatoes gave that score. No, it didn't.
An aggregate of people did.
An aggregate of people. And I would guarantee you, especially the six of us who have like gained somewhat of a following, 100, 200 subscribers, watchers, viewers on a regular basis, it would not be hard for any of the six of us to become verified reviewers on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not that hard to do. It's not a difficult thing to do. So it's not Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes has never reviewed a movie and will never as a website. They have a website where people go to review movies, and then people vilify Rotten Tomatoes like they're giving out these scores. Yeah. They're not. It doesn't make any sense.
But I'm saying. But
I agree with you.
Yeah, but I'm saying that instead of back in the day where you would look in the newspaper and see, oh, this movie's out. Oh, we should go check that out. Even though you knew nothing about the movie, you would go see it and you'd form your own opinion, and then word of mouth would spread, yada, yada, yada. If it was a bad movie, you wouldn't talk about it, or you tell your friends, don't go see that. Like, we live in an age where we have a lot more followers than leaders.
Everyone's very dependent on like other people's opinions.
Yeah. So if I sat here and said Black Widow is the worst, and I did have someone who wanted to come on and has seen Black Widow, and I said no because I did not want him on here, because it's not that I didn't want him on here. He's a good guy. I just didn't want us to be talking about that.
Yeah, especially if only one person has seen it. I agree.
Yeah. The movie's like a good week and a half away too. Let's just
and just wait.
Yeah. And I'm already working on getting screeners myself. I don't need. I don't want to fall into that, his mindset of like, oh, let me go talk about it, and let me. Because for a fact that he would say, oh, it's non-spoiler, except one spoiler would drop out of his mouth by accident.
Right.
Been there, done that. when Kevin Smith first started having Mark Bernardin on Fat Man on Batman, and right before it became Fat Man Beyond, a month before Civil War came out, Mark Bernardin totally spoils Spider-Man's whole piece in the movie on that podcast.
No.
Oh, dude. And then like, oh, it was just like I'm
What
at work.
movie was
night.
it?
Civil War.
Oh,
Wow.
Totally
Yeah.
lays it out how Spider-Man's introduced and how he comes into play, and it's just like, oh,
Right.
yeah, my kid
Yeah,
premiere and
that-
everything. This is what happens with Spider-Man, and I'm just like,
that's a no bueno.
I was like,
I would literally freak the fuck. Like,
I was so
I-
beside myself. I was like, are you serious right now?
yeah,
Right.
I'm a recovering alcoholic. I have a higher power, but my higher power is nothing to do with like religion at all. My religion is to not spoil movies. like that is literally my religion, is to not spoil film or television. That's it. That's it.
I like it. I like it.
Good
I
stuff
don't
right
know.
there.
I don't know why, but as far as like, I won't. I'll try my best to never spoil anything, and if I think I might, I just won't talk about it. But I don't mind being spoiled for things, because if it's good,
Depends on the thing for me.
Yeah, me too.
whether
Me too.
I get
I'm the same
spoiled
way.
for it or not, if I go and see it and it's still good,
I'm happy.
fine. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, that sounds
I
cool. I
guess-
can't wait to actually see it. And I can see how you could be the opposite, especially
guess
with
I don't-
specific things like
if it's-
twists, maybe. But
feel like-
so someone told you that at the end of Infinity War, everyone disappeared. You'd be okay with that?
yeah. If I
Are
as long
you
as I went,
fucking
if
kidding
I
A
went
little
and
more
saw it-
context behind that. What if you found that out like 6 months before the movie came out?
that might. I think if someone told me that 6 months before the movie came out, whether it was true or not, I would be skeptical as to whether it was true or not.
Right.
So
right.
at that point, I would be like, how would this person?
Okay,
even
so
know?
what if you saw like a frame of Spider-Man dissipating off into nothingness, right?
I think I'd be hyped. I think I'd be
Would
like,
you?
yeah.
and that's just me. I'm
I
just like,
think for me, it really does
You're
depend
out
on
of
like
your
the
mind,
project
bro.
and shit. So
For me, I'm the same way. If I would have seen that, like a still of him dissipate 6 months, I think I would have been like, I would have freaked out. I've been like, I was already
I-
going to see the movie.
can
I'm
I-
going to see it more.
yeah.
mean,
Same.
the same
Can
thing
I
happened,
ask you
that happened
guys,
with me with Endgame.
Hold
I
on. Let Ty ask this question.
Can I ask you guys a personal question?
No.
Has
Sure.
there been
Yeah.
has there been a movie that you shed a tear? Now we're all men here,
Yes.
Yes.
right?
Yeah, of course.
Aside
All the time.
aside from Austin, we're all men.
Hey,
Um,
hey.
Ouch.
I told you not to tell anybody. about
Wow.
By the way, I want to show you guys a clip at the end of this.
No, just to preface, are we going with our most like generic pick, or are we going with like the kind of out there? Why would you cry for that one pick?
No. Is there any like superhero movie that has made you like
Yeah.
tear up?
Oh,
tear
yeah.
up
Oh
a
yeah,
little bit?
definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
I think Carlos. I think you said it the other day.
Okay, well, with superheroes, it was a theatrical cut of BVS. I did cry when Superman died, like a little bit. I got a little teary eyed. I'm like, he's the real one. He sacrificed.
Things have
himself for
changed,
me.
haven't they, for you, Carlos?
Yeah,
Things
now
have
you're a
changed.
hater.
No.
I'm kidding.
I'm a hater, clout chaser. No, it's
Turned against us.
no. When I first watched it, I was feeling some real emotions because like I never seen a death scene like that. You know what I mean? And it's like he still has the drive. He's gonna drive in the sphere even more. So like I really felt that.
Yep.
My out there pick
Love
would be Click though. You know the movie Click with Adam Sandler.
With Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
He has
Okay.
the universal
If
remote.
you didn't cry during
Well,
that,
he
then
didn't-
you're
didn't-
not
yeah,
a
that's-
human being.
I
I cried.
I cried
I
at the
didn't
end when he had like his
Man,
fat,
in the rain?
in the rain.
When he's
He was
no.
Don't even
Yeah.
get me started on
Dude, I was
Lion
crying.
King.
No,
Lion
actually,
King. That's funny.
frankly, I never watched the original Lion King. I only watched the remake.
What?
Man,
Wow.
you need some homework
Wow.
to do, Carlos.
I'm
All your time criticizing, you haven't watched. I can't take you
You-
seriously.
How old are you?
I'm 19. I'm a giant zoomer. That's what I am. I was born in 2001. I've never experienced that. I experienced the remake before. I watched a little bit of the original, but the live action remake.
Wow.
I watched that, and Like when I grew up,
that by the way, that movie is trash.
Yeah, that movie's horrendous.
My favorite
never seen it again.
movie when I was 5 or 6 year old was literally Dodgeball. You know the movie Dodgeball?
I love Dodgeball. Yeah. I love Dodgeball. It's a great movie.
Like it was kind of mature, you know, a few like kind of suggestive parts. But yeah, I love that movie when I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Did you cry watching that?
No, I didn't. Maybe a little bit when he had the blindfold and dodged it.
I'll go next. I got 3. Logan. Ooh. I didn't cry the first time I watched Logan. It was weird. It was like the second or third time I watched Logan, where like she's putting the cross on the thing. I was like, that's pretty sad, and that made me tear up. Roy Batty's speech at the end of the first Blade Runner. I can't watch that. I'll cry like a baby.
Love that speech.
And this one is probably my corniest one, but it's sad as shit. Probably the saddest one. When Littlefoot's mom dies in The Land Before Time, it burns me. And I
my strings now.
Dude.
I love it.
That is so sad. What did she say? She says, listen to your heart. It whispers, so listen closely. That's literally my bio on Instagram because I'm a weirdo.
Yes.
I literally got like shivers down when you said that. I was like, oh, I forgot that line. That's a guy for dude. Land
but yeah, those are my 3.
Never watched that.
Awesome.
Right. I mean, it's a child's movie, but it's you know about as good as a child's movie could get.
Right.
And it made a grown man cry. Which it's weird. It did make me cry when I was a kid because I'm just like, ooh, dinosaurs. And now I'm watching it and I'm like,
whoa, yeah.
Alrighty then.
I think for me, you know what? I remember crying in X-Men Days of Future Past. That one for me, just like the whole. I don't know why. I don't remember why, but I cried a lot in that movie. I don't know why. I don't remember why. Logan, I cried in. Cried in Endgame.
I didn't cry in
when
Logan,
Endgame.
But I guess
cried in Endgame when everybody came back, and those were like happy tears. That was the weird one. I guess I cried. I cried a lot in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. That's actually the first movie that I remember crying in the theater, and I was like probably like 10 or 11. There were a lot of parts there. It was just, it meant a lot to me because it was like, I was raised by my grandma. So like the older person and like seeing them like turn into like a younger person, then now I'm her caretaker. So it was just a lot of like emotional, that movie. Yeah. Cried a lot in that movie.
So my weirdest one, and I don't cry at it anymore because I'm a grown man. I'm not 6 years old. But when Mace Windu died in The Revenge of the Sith, that used to make me cry. When I was a child, I would have to leave the room when that happened. It would make me cry.
It's like traumatizing for you.
Yeah, I had to leave the room. I couldn't watch it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I love that.
That was a good one, Benjamin Button. I forgot about that one.
I agree. Yeah.
So my superhero movie that's probably made me cry. I distinctly remember Man of Steel. That one's probably made me. That's
one of mine as well.
I genuinely remember like just a happy tear coming out of my eye because like that was like the first time I saw like I felt like Superman was in a movie. Because
you've been done some justice on screen.
Yeah, because prior to that, I'd only seen Superman Returns, and I was like, well,
First Flight. Oh my god.
First Flight is peak cinema.
And then like most recently, the movie non superhero that made me cry was the Way Back with Affleck. Right, that was the last movie I saw before theaters shut down.
Really? Oh,
yeah. That's a great story.
I didn't see that, but I heard good things about that.
I don't know what Jarbo's talking about.
You know what movie made me
I know what he's talking about, and I'm not entertaining that idea, Jarbo. You're funny.
I think he's talking about the Flash, right?
Yeah, he's talking about
probably. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Paul?
The new Demon Slayer movie at the end, when I don't know if you guys seen it, there's a fight at the end, and that made me cry. I can't believe I forgot about that. I was like bawling in the theater with my girlfriend, and she's next to me fine, and I'm like, this isn't sad to you?
I think I did cry in an episode of Invincible. Now that I think about it too, I'm pretty sure I cried in an episode of Invincible.
Well, which one?
Either second or the last one.
Yeah.
What?
I can see that.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
I do have some happy tears though. Some tears of like just pure.
Wait.
Sorry, I interrupted Ryan.
I mean, I don't know if this counts, but like I cried throughout a lot of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
You know what? I did.
Quite
Yes,
a bit.
I did cry into. Yeah. Yep.
Like from moment the movie starts, like boop. It was just.
I was more happy throughout it. I like tear. I had like happy, like a
they
happy,
were happy.
tearful moments, but
Like,
I was
tears of
mainly
joy,
just like
like-
smiling ear to ear throughout it.
A lot of Cyborg
yeah,
story got a lot of emotion on me. Cyborg story was great.
Yeah.
same.
For me,
That whole waitress scene made me cry.
That too, yeah.
Oh my god! When
I was crying.
oh my
I was crying.
god, that was so beautiful.
And when she freaks
It
out
was.
afterwards and she's got her kid right there next to her, I was just like,
That's
Oh,
me and my brother. I know that life kind of.
wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Same.
It's
Same.
tough,
And
dude.
I was just like,
It was tough.
God, yeah.
Oh, also Flash going back in time.
Somebody
his-
criticized that part of the movie.
His final words to his dad when he was like, "Your kid was one of them, one of the best of the best."
One of the
Yeah.
best.
That got me. That got me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Who else has gone? Hasn't gone?
Ryan has.
I didn't
Ryan
go
has
fully
Yes.
yet. So yeah, same as Phil. Yeah, Man of Steel. I cry a lot throughout Man of Steel, especially the Jonathan Kent stuff. I'm just like, God damn it,
I'm
Kevin
surprised you
Costner.
didn't cry during the commentary. To be honest with you,
Whoa.
I was staying tough, you know. We were recording, so I had to stay like composed.
that's my guy right there.
Composed.
That's why
Yeah.
he's the real.
Yeah,
You
and
hear small squeal. in his
BVS
voice
as
at
well.
certain points.
I tear up a lot in BVS as well, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. But Zack Snyder's Justice League is such a hopeful film that I'm just like
I think it
more
was-
happy when I
yeah.
watch it.
For Zack Snyder's Justice League, I definitely cried too, but I think it was
That was tears of joy.
years and years and years and years of built up emotion. You know?
I tear up mainly when he goes into Flight 2.0. You know, when he's kneeling down, the rocks begin to swirl around. You hear Kevin Costner and Russell Crowe speaking, and then he just shoots up into the atmosphere. Yeah, that's a
I
part
wish
where it
that
gets
lasted
me.
a little longer, but
No, I agree. I definitely agree. I think there's a little bit more they could have done, because I know Zach, he drew like more of like Superman flying, but I guess he just thought that was enough. But I wanted more because, you know, Superman's my guy.
I'm gonna throw you guys for a loop here. I cried during Titanic.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah,
I think we all cried during. I mean, unless
I was
you
more.
cried
I was more.
during
No, I didn't.
cry.
I was more
I
angry.
understand. I understand,
right.
but I didn't cry.
Titanic is my
That is-
favorite movie of all time.
By and far.
Because me and my mother, that was me and my mom's movie.
Okay.
Mhm.
I won't
So
go
you know,
further.
rest in peace, mom. That was me and her film, and you know, but even when she was alive, we both would just cry. Even when Jack's drawing her, like she's naked, and we're like crying, like I'm like, oh, like I'm like kind of turned on, but why,
But also crying at the same time.
why am I crying?
I'm both sad and aroused.
What is happening? I'm 11. I'm 10 years old. What is happening to my body?
How's
That's
that cry after sex guy?
That's a weird kink, and I'm kind of mad that Austin said that because I was thinking about saying that, and I was like, nah, and then Austin said it.
Yeah, okay.
And then when Cap catches Mjolnir, I cried. Because
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
That was so both times when he says Avengers assemble and then catches Mjolnir, those were the I don't know what happened to me. I turned into a baby. But then the Snyder Cut movies, of course. But the Snyder Cut movies, again, I'll bring it back to that. It was so much emotion. There was so much tragedy and good behind the film that there were tears of joy and sorrow at the same time.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster throughout those films.
Oh yeah,
roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah,
not gonna lie though, I think unlike the first time I watched, I'm not really a fan of this movie in particular now, but like The Dark Knight Rises, at the end of that movie when they're like, hey, get down, everybody get ready, and then the kid goes, no, it's Batman. I'm like, okay, I like that because when a kid sees Batman about to save the whole city from a nuclear bomb going off, it's like, all right, I
got you
just
a little
bit. Just
I know Ty doesn't like this movie too much, but I definitely cried a lot and towards the end of Black Panther. I thought Black Panther was phenomenal. Other than that, I'm trying to think of any others. I don't think they're.
I didn't cry. I heard a lot of people crying when Spider-Man faded at the end of Infinity War. Like people were like, "Oh, no!
Yeah!" A lot of people were up there.
Even my mom teared up, and she doesn't know what the hell any of these movies are.
For me,
she's like, "Oh, that's sad."
Because at that time I couldn't stand Tom Holland, so I was like, "Thank God he's gone."
I remember for me, I was in the theaters, and I was just like, "Oh, that's kind of sad," and then he just fades, and I'm like, "Man, that's a bummer." But then I hear people like,
"He's got
sniffing all that." Bring Toby. No, I'm kidding.
I like Andrew.
Yeah, I like Andrew and Toby. They're both very good in their own. I mean, Andrew obviously doesn't really look the part.
I think,
but when Andrew's in the suit and when Andrew is Spider-Man, he not only just the quick whips and all of that. Like he is Spider-Man, and I thought he did a great job.
I think
Tom's grown on me. He's grown on me. He started out as like the nerd kid in high school that was like. Not just the nerd kid, but the nerd kid you wanted to punch too.
Yeah,
and like, you know, I refer back to this all the time. There's that scene in Homecoming where it's supposed to be the big, hopeful Peter Parker Spider-Man moment. Yeah, Rick.
Yeah,
Rick just got ice through those veins, man.
Heart of stone.
Rick, I'm sorry.
What are you, a White Walker?
I'm sorry that we're human.
I don't cry for any movie.
I just know they're fake, and I don't associate with anything in those films. Like,
Just kidding.
That hopeful.
Subscribe to the channel because we want you here.
Right. Yeah, like the video, share it. You know, but
we don't like your opinion though.
but yeah, you know, there's that hopeful scene. He's like supposed to hold up the airplane in Homecoming, and I'm like. Please just let it fall on him. I couldn't care less.
Crush it, please.
You meant really, like the roof and the ventilation unit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Come on, Spider-Man!
Can the vulture just kill him already?
Watch him like a bug.
Come on, Keaton. I'm rooting for you.
I just wish after that movie when he actually kind of like found it in himself, he's like, oh, I gotta be the one. You know, if I'm not the one without the suit, then I shouldn't have it. Come on, Spider-Man. I wish he would have got more confident because he's still.
I will say,
I was just rooting for Keaton the whole time. I was just like, "Come on, Keaton, get the kid, get that kid,
get that kid."
Guys,
Far From Home was a big step up, though. I'll say that. I thought.
Guys, we have passed the 2 hour and 22 minute mark.
Oh boy!
I would like you all to stick around after the show ends. I do have a couple questions for y'all, but that is it for tonight's panel, guys. We do it every single Wednesday. You're all invited every single Wednesday. We're gonna do like eventually. I kind of caved again today. You usually gonna have to be a member. To our membership start at $2.99 to be a part of the panel, but it is what it is for now. But we do encourage support of the channel. $2.99, $4.99, and $9.99. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Let's go around and let's do the plugs. We'll start at the bottom right. That's Real Burn.
That's me. Okay, so you guys can subscribe to my channel, The Real Burn Productions. You can also follow my Twitter, which is at The Real Burn, and I also have an Instagram, which is Ry_Rivera. That's RY_ and then Rivera at the end.
All right, and then we will go.
Okay, if anyone want to follow me and my shenanigans, just at Unfiltered everywhere. Just Vero, Instagram, and Twitter. Unfiltered, UNPHILTEREDDD. And I've also got a podcast, Superhero Stress. Search for it anywhere, you probably find it.
Oh,
Fire.
I like your tattoo, by the way.
Thank you. I love it.
I have not a similar one, but
got that 89 symbol.
I have a Justice League leg sleeve, so.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
And then I got the. Oh no, you can't see me. Why can't you see me?
Your camera's off, man. And then he left.
Why is it?
There you go.
I got the cap.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
What'd you say your Twitter was again, Philip?
It's all the same, just all unfiltered. UNPHILTEREDD.
We should all keep in contact and we should all follow each other. And that way we can keep doing this every Wednesday. Because actually, this was probably one of the better conversations that we've had. Not saying that the other ones weren't. The first one was great actually, but this one was more driven. So I liked it a lot. Carlos, you're up.
Yeah, you can find me that one Carlos YT at that one Carlos YT on Facebook. Not Facebook, Twitter. Facebook is for the old people. My grandma uses Facebook. no dig on Facebook users. I'm sorry, Zuck. Please don't sell my data. That one Carlos on YouTube.
If you have an iPhone, they ask you not to do that anymore.
I don't know what that actually does, though. Like, what does that actually mean? Sorry, go.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
That one Carlos on YouTube. And I want to post more there, but I really have to find the time, and I'd really appreciate any kind of follow.
Of course,
that'd be great.
Of course.
But I always love being here.
Oh,
You can find me around here.
We always love you. That came off really weird. We always love having you here, but we actually, you know what? I'm not afraid to say it. We love you.
Whoa!
I love you too.
Yeah, of course, man.
Ooh, my turn. So you can find me and my good friend Frank, Sonny, and Donovan at Into the West Comics on YouTube. We've been having a lot of success lately. It's a lot of fun. And it's cool to just have the episodes that we have. We have one going up tomorrow at 6:00. So be there for that. We're talking about Snake Eyes and Fast and the Furious and stuff like that. And it's actually pre-recorded this week because we had some scheduling conflicts. But it's very funny. I think it's one of our funniest episodes. So I would go check it out. We basically just goof off for 30 minutes. And then Into the West Comics on Instagram, we're just above 1,000 followers there. And then Into_Comics on Twitter, that's ran by me. You'd be talking to me if you go there. I'm much nicer on there than I will be on my personal account because I'm not trying to give off weird vibes of everybody else because they don't know who they're talking to.
Got to put that civility.
Exactly. Into_Comics on Twitter, Into the West Comics on TikTok if you're so inclined. And just thank you for checking out the Pop Culture Corner. We love Ty and Austin and Jack and everyone here for letting us on and having pretty much every one of us on here, except Frank. But Frank's like the busiest human being alive. He would if he could.
Well, Frank will be by soon.
I would absolutely adore that. But yeah, I love doing this. I love talking to everybody, and I love how everyone on here that I'm always with, because I know sometimes like I try not to be like, I'm not intentionally divisive. I just have opinions sometimes that don't exactly, and I'm not afraid to voice them. But I try to be civil and nice and just, it's opinions and stuff. And I appreciate that Ryan and Phil and Carlos and Austin and Ty, everyone else always is too. And even if I completely disagree with someone, they're like, yeah, I get it. And I appreciate the reciprocation. And then all the guys who watch. It's very cool. Thank you.
Awesome.
Austin,
you're up for us.
Okay, yeah, you guys, you can follow us here at Pop Culture Corner over here on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. We're constantly posting stuff about when we're going to go live or our opinions on news or whatever is going on. So if you guys want to stay up to date with everything that's going on, see more panels like this, see more videos like this, make sure and follow us. And yeah, that does it for us, I think.
All right, guys. As I said, make sure each one of you stays after the stream for a question. But let me do the outro. All right, guys. As always, it's a pleasure. I'm sorry that I had a little camera difficulty. I don't know what that was about. I did just get a Logitech Stream Cam, but it used a USB-C, and my Mac doesn't have a USB-C connector. So I had to buy like this third-party connector. It's not as good as I thought it was going to be, but I'm going to buy a new one. Guys, we couldn't do this without you. Each and every subscriber, you're part of the family. If you can join the channel, you'll gain access to exclusives, including behind the scenes content, early access to podcasts, early access to pre-recorded videos, skits, all that stuff, discounted merchandise, pictures of my dog, who doesn't like that? And just like Paul said, we're now on TikTok. We do TikTok videos. Oh my God. We're like totally hipsters now. And we do TikToks. It's amazing. But yes, without y'all, there is no Pop Culture Corner. So with that being said, we do it for you. We do it for the culture. I promised one thing. Wait, that's not the right one. I promised one thing. What did I promise here? It's the full hostage video. There it is.
Yes, President Xi Jinping. Ni hao ma, ni hao ma. This is Jack from Pop Culture Corner. Yes, sir. Yes, I've been trying to get a hold of you. Look, I kind of have an awkward question I need to ask you. Did you by any chance kidnap Austin? He's the brown one. No, sir, the other brown one. Oh, no, sir. You kidnapped the wrong one. No, Austin is my co-host. You got the wrong one. And don't worry about the other guy. I got rid of him. Remember, he sent me a little bit of money to take care of him. Yes, I'm so sorry. Listen, President Xi, is it possible to get Austin back? I know it's asking a lot, but I need him to do the podcast. You had ISIS kidnap him. I knew he wasn't in the hospital. Yes, sir. If you could bring him back, it'd be greatly appreciated. How much money? To be fair, President Xi, I don't know if I want to pay that kind of money. I mean, I can just go to the border and grab another one. Yeah, the border's in crisis. Yeah, no one runs this country quite like you, President Xi. Oh, thank you. I'm eternally grateful to you and the People's Republic of China. Oh, thank you so much. They cut his leg off. ISIS doesn't mess around. Well, to be honest with you, President Xi, he doesn't really need his legs. He just sits around and does a podcast all day. So if you could just send him back, we'll get him some Obamacare and boom. Yes, the next show is June 29th. You could? Perfect. Shishini. Thank you. Let's hope he doesn't find out about that.